It's Trey Styles on the beat.
What's up? Wait, you got your watches up already?
Yeah,
You
I
in
got them
Shador
up
mode
already.
already? You
I
in
gotta
Shador
come
mode
in.
already?
I gotta
You put
come in with something. That's just the new dance I come in this week.
all right, cause you did
Uh,
it last week too. Like you feeling legendary, and I'm
Well,
here for the
last week I
vibes.
last week I did this right here.
I thought it was the week before. No, I can't
I
keep up.
mean,
I'm
well,
getting
we didn't
old.
do it last week, so the week before I did do it. I
Uh
did
huh.
that right there. Right.
Oh
Now, so
my
1 week
goodness, you guys.
I did this right here. I don't know what that is, but I did it.
I don't know what that one is either. Yeah, no. You lost me with that one. I know
Right.
what this one is.
I think it's take them through
I
there.
know what this one is.
Right.
Oh man, you lost me. You lost me on this one. I don't know what this
Right. I
one is.
think I take them through there. Take them through there and do that.
Okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay, oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
I mean,
now that you
don't.
put the song with it, I know what you
Right.
mean. I know what you're talking about now that you brought it up. Oh man, you guys, what's up? What's up? Welcome back here, Just Simply Sports, One Man Cave, NFL collab. We've been rocking out with you guys every Monday, week 14, NFL recap. Week 14 is in the books. Oh man, how are you doing today?
Man, I can't complain. Same suit, just reheated. How about yourself?
Oh God. I have on a hoodie. It's not reheated, but I'm cool. I'm
Oh,
cool.
okay.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
look like
cool.
your hair looks nice. What you got? You got a is that some sort of pin in there or what they
Oh
call it?
no, my hair actually is not
Oh,
done. I didn't
you
curl
got
it or
a
anything. I just
you
put a
got a little
headband
wrap in
on.
there. What
I
you
put a
call that? A
headband on.
bandana?
Yeah,
Headband.
not a bandana, a
Okay.
little headband.
Headband. Okay, okay.
Some little flowers on it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, it worked.
Whatever.
It worked.
Oh man, you guys, we just finished watching the Chargers and the Eagles. Oh God, you guys. Oh, that was quite an interesting game. It really and truly was. I'm not even sure how you describe it. How do you describe it? How are you feeling about the Eagles versus Chargers?
I mean, to be nice, you can call it a defensive game, a defensive masterpiece from both sides. The Chargers played excellent defense tonight, as well as the Eagles did. Offensively, it was trash. It was messy, both sides. But at least the Chargers quarterback was playing with one arm today, and considering he had one arm, he played pretty well.
It, oh man, I'm thinking to myself, biggest takeaways, like something I learned from this game is that number one, I didn't have the Eagles repeating. That's the first thing. After tonight, I'm not even sure if they'll make it past the first round. Like looking at this game. Um, I don't something is going on. I don't know what. Like, like there was some good things in there, Saquon was involved more, AJ, he got some catches, dropped some,
He
but
dropped some big ones. He dropped the game
um,
winner.
you know, uh, I was just sitting there thinking, like, stop throwing it. I'm like, I know you keep trying to get further down to make the field goal easier. If you can't ultimately get the touchdown, I'm thinking in my head, just kick, just go on ahead and kick it, just go ahead and kick it, and that's it. I was like, stop throwing the dang ball, and my my gut instincts were right. Because I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. It was going
Yeah.
so well. It was going so well. They got the holding, call. It worked in their favor. They got an extra first
Mhm.
set of downs. I'm just like, okay, here we go. Like, oh man, they're gonna say Jalen Hurts got the comeback with this one tomorrow. It's gonna be on ESPN. Jalen Hurts
Right.
threw 3 interceptions, but man, he led the game winning drive in overtime. And now it's gonna be like, okay.
Yeah.
It's time to have some real conversations. Just that quick, the headline just shifted, and
Well,
I'm just like, I hope Kevin Patullo, his house doesn't get egged again, tomorrow.
yeah, well, clearly wasn't his fault. The players got to execute. AJ Brown dropped two critical passes today.
Hmm.
Offensive line had holding it inopportune times. Jalen Hurts, he made a couple great throws tonight that I like. Even the one he threw to
Mhm,
AJ Brown, where AJ
mhm,
Brown dropped in the end zone, that was next level. That was an excellent throw. Put it right on the money.
mhm.
But he missed some throws tonight too. So I think the offense as a whole could have played a lot better. But the fortunate thing is you got the Vegas Raiders coming up, and you get to play the Commanders twice. So you get an opportunity to fix a lot of those woes against bad teams, and hopefully you can fix those before the first round of the playoffs
Mhm.
because they still got a cushion in the in NFC East. So I'm not concerned. I'm not overly concerned, but they have to play better, and they got to start playing better starting next week.
They need to start playing better, like 4 games ago. Like, honestly speaking, they still have a lot of talent, obviously, a lot of injuries as well, on the team. But I don't know. Before, the one thing we could say, even if the offense was like stagnant and not really where we wanted this to look, was Jalen Hurts took care of the ball. Like, he was taking really good care of the ball. If even if he had like nothing more than like 10 yards, there was 0 interceptions. In this game, I think he was trying so hard to use his arm. I'm just like, nothing but interceptions galore. And I was just like, just use Saquon. Like, just stop and just use Saquon and just do what you got to do that way. But like I said, they had a chance. They had a chance. After all of that, they still came down and they had a chance. They had the ball in their hand last. They were right there, and it just interception.
Yeah.
Um, I do feel like, even no matter what happens, whether they go back to the Super Bowl, whether even if they did go back and do back to back, I do feel like this is this regime right here, the current roster of the Eagles. I think this is what we're going to get from them. No matter what happens next season, we'll see some new faces. And I think one of
Yeah.
those is going to be AJ Brown. I think AJ going to be with somebody else next season.
Probably so. Howie Roseman always does a good job of retooling the deck. So
Hmm.
I expect whether they win or they don't win, I
Yeah.
expect some changes to be made. I just think tonight it looks like Jalen finally felt some of the pressure, some of the heat, and maybe it had something to do with the
Mhm.
offensive coordinator having his home egged, and then that
Yeah.
magnifies thing that the Philly fans are really upset. The Philly fans want to see better. And there's only 3 guys that you can even start to try to blame at the top. That's
Hmm.
gonna be Sirianni, that's gonna be Patullo, and it's gonna be Jalen Hurts. Somewhere within those 3, that's where the blame lies. So you even saw Sirianni this week. He didn't necessarily take over the offense, but he had more
Hmm.
input into the offensive side of the ball, the offensive game planning.
Hmm.
So the pressure is on for all of them because the Philly fans, they expect a repeat, even though repeating championships is
Hmm.
very rare in the NFL. It's a
Hmm.
very difficult thing to do, but the Philly fans, that's what they expect and that's what they want. So I think Jalen Hurts finally, for the first time I've seen, he felt some of that pressure.
Let the noise get to him. The outside noise.
Yeah, but outside noise became tangible when you got
Hmm.
egg on your offensive coordinator's windows.
That's crazy. I was like, well, his house got egg. Like, I'm like, be careful. Shoot, this is too much pressure if I'm Kevin Patullo. I'm like, this is too much. This is too much. Not my home being egg. Like, are we safe driving around Philly now? Like, they know
Hey,
what
that's
car we
Philly.
drive. They know the license plate. I'm like, now I'm
That's
concerned
Philly.
for him. Oh man, I'm praying him and his family are okay, because I'm like, I want nothing to happen to him now. I know everybody wants them to win. I get it. Like, Philly wants them to win, but y'all, please don't hurt the man or his family now. Hold on, Big Dog is in here. Big Dogs. I don't even talk about the Niners. We are not talking about the Niners right now, Big Dog. Where you come from
The
with the
Niners were on the
Niners?
bye this week. They didn't even play.
He was wanting to come through and say that. What's up, Big Dog? I'm glad to see you are doing well. What's up, y'all? Y'all in the chat, say what's up. Drop a comment. If you're
The
not
Niners,
here, if you're new here, make sure you
yeah.
subscribe. Just Simply Sports here with me, Kaja, and then also with my guy Nadi at One Man Cave. What's up, homie? What's up? What's up, Big Dog? What's up? Oh man, Big Dog, you watched the Eagles versus Chargers game. What you think? Drop it in the chat. There's not really much to say about this, honestly. I do feel like, I think I told you this a little while ago. If I'm a Cowboys fan, if I'm part of a Cowboys team, I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful. I'm like, you guys, they dropped one. We're like, I think now they're one game behind them, right? Or was it still two
Well,
games?
no, it's 2 games. It's
Okay.
Cowboys and lost what? 7 games? 6 how many
Because
games?
they're
6.
6-5-1, right? The Cowboys?
Yeah, then they
Or
lost,
six
so
six
they
and one.
6-1. Yeah.
6-6-1. Okay. And the
Right,
Eagles are
right.
now what? 8-5.
8-5. Right.
Okay. So yeah, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm like, we can catch
Well,
them. We can catch them.
Cowboy fans are delusional anyway, so they're gonna believe they have hope until they're mathematically disqualified.
Hmm.
So yeah, I expect the Cowboys fans to still have hope, but that Cowboys schedule is not the same as that Eagles schedule. So I just think the ease of the Eagles schedule is gonna help them. They should at least finish 3-1 to finish the season. And that'll be enough to get in the
Hmm.
playoffs and hold the Cowboys off.
I mean, look, the way Jalen was out there throwing interceptions tonight, I'm like, I'm not even sure no matter who they play. Like I said, the Commanders, I'm not sure if Jaden is hurt again and he's out for the rest of the season or they put Marcus back in there. But honestly speaking, no matter who they put in there, I'm like, the way they look on the offensive side, I don't know. The defense will give them a chance regardless because they play
Yeah.
so well. But on the offensive side, I'm like, they just seem like they in shambles.
Yeah, but the Raiders and the Commanders don't play the same quality defense as the Chargers. So, like I
No, but they
said,
do play the Commanders though. They put them twice, I believe, right?
they
Coming
play
up.
the Commanders twice.
Hmm.
So again, it's an opportunity for the Eagles to beat up on some weak teams and try to get some sort of mojo going. This is a perfect opportunity. So hey, gotta do what you gotta do. If you lose to those teams, you don't deserve to make the playoffs.
And
Point
it's an
blank.
opportunity. Not you ain't lying about that. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna just say a prayer for the Eagles now. I'll tell you that much. Oh, hold on. Let me go to the opposite side. Let me show Justin Connor Herbert some love here. Okay, you guys. So from Justin Herbert's side of things, how are you feeling about Justin Herbert this season overall? They started off pretty strong, then they had some injuries that kind of, went down a couple notches. Now he just had surgery on his wrist. He was still out there tonight, but you could tell he kept kind of rubbing his wrist. He's not 100%. I get it. What are you
Right.
thinking about the Chargers though in their playoff, in terms of in the playoffs?
They got a good defense. They got an excellent running game.
Hmm.
2 good running backs. Now that you got Amari Hampton back from the ankle injury that he suffered week 5, and Vidal has been everything. I mean, he's been a pleasant surprise for the Chargers. So the
Hmm.
running game has been good. The defense has been good. The question is always going to come down: can Justin Herbert be consistent, and can he be consistent in big games? And tonight, I got to give it up to him. He showed a lot of moxie tonight,
Hmm.
playing with the broken hand, willing to play through injury. He showed toughness. He ran the
He's tough.
ball. He
Hmm.
ran the ball well, and I think he led the team in rushing yards tonight. Um, we all know he can pass the ball. The Eagles' defense is no slouch, so they gave him all they could.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, can Justin Herbert play big in the big games, and that's what we
Hmm.
haven't seen.
Yeah.
But he has a team around him to get that done because he has a good running game. He has good wide receivers. He has a
Hmm.
solid tight end. Everything is there. So it's time to show and prove for Justin Herbert this season.
And we will see. We shall see. I'll move on. And honestly, I hate to even talk about this, but I felt so bad when I saw it. Indiana Jones. It's over for him. Indiana Jones. No more Indiana Jones. He's out for the season. I honestly felt really bad when I saw this. I was like, oh man. And I'm thinking to myself now, he was up for a contract. Obviously, I think they will still want to bring him back because he plays so well. But at the same time, the money that you were gonna get probably is gonna go down. Because they're like, oh, I could pay you less. You come back from
Oh
a major
yeah.
injury. You know what I mean? But if you're in that front office, are you looking to maybe perhaps bring Anthony Richardson back, go with somebody else completely, or are you still willing to give him a contract when he's healthy?
They're done with Anthony Richardson. Clearly, I was looking today that Riley Leonard, he has some sort of knee injury, and they hope he can play this week. But if he can't play
Hmm.
this week, they're going with Brett Rippon. So that just
Who?
lets me know Brett Rippon.
Oh
Exactly.
my!
That lets me know they're done with Anthony Richardson.
Oh my!
He's now you
He's
can
still he's
classify.
still on injured reserve though. Is he still injured?
Yeah. I
He
don't know
always
if he's
injured.
yeah, well, he did have that eye injury that he had in the pregame doing. I don't know what he was doing, but he
Man.
injured his eye.
Hmm.
I just think his time there is done. They probably move on from Anthony Richardson. I can still imagine that. I don't know. He has an Achilles injury. Those Achilles injuries, they take 1 to 2 years to come back from.
Yeah, so they were saying 9 to 10 months.
Uh, Colts might have to go in the draft and take a quarterback, or they might have to go ahead and start developing Riley Leonard to be the quarterback for the foreseeable future.
Some Big Dog said, I'm giving Daniel Jones 4 years, 40 million. Anthony Richardson should have never been drafted, and I'm a Gators fan. I thought he needed some more time in college, honestly speaking. I watched him in college, and I liked him a lot in college, but I was like, I think he needs more. He didn't really have that many starts to begin with. Obviously he looks the part from the physical standpoint. Has all like the physical attributes you want, in your franchise QB. But I think maturity wise, I don't think he was ready for the responsibility that comes with being a franchise QB, and then the injuries, man, he cannot stay healthy. It's just the combination of both, So I am hoping that at some point, hopefully soon, even if it's not with the Colts, that he will, get his shit together and hopefully, play somewhere else, backup QB, whatever it is. I do think he has a lot of promise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Anthony Richardson has any promise. I mean, I have to see it at this point.
Mhm.
Like I said, I don't rate young quarterbacks until year 3,
Mhm.
and in the 3 years that I've seen him, I don't see anything there.
We
He's
haven't
still
seen him
young.
play no more like what? How many games?
Yeah,
Every time he came back, he's
I
back
don't
out
even want to
hurt.
see him play. I mean, this guy quit in the football game. When you do that, that's the ultimate sin, especially for a quarterback. He's
I'm
still
not.
young. He
I'm not
still
mad at
has a
him for that. I'm
yeah,
not mad at
yeah,
him for that.
yeah. He's still
I'm like,
young.
look, health is first.
He wasn't even hurt. He was just tired.
I said health.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's not
I'm
what
like,
he
he
why
like
he
he was
pulled
gasping
himself
for
out of the
air or
game.
something. I'm like,
Yeah, he
dude,
was
don't
tired.
collapse
You
on that
can't.
field.
No quarterback can come out the football game for being tired. That's the first
Mhm.
time I had ever seen it in my life.
I know. I heard. Yeah,
But he's still young.
he
He
is
still
very
has an
young.
opportunity. He has to work hard. He's gonna have to understand he has to come from the ground up now. You're gonna have to go somewhere. You're gonna be some team's third string quarterback. You're gonna have to put in the work in. You're gonna
Hmm.
have to hope for a couple things to go in your favor. Like the starting quarterback get hurt,
Hmm.
you come in, you ball out, and you get another opportunity, similar to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. So I have seen this story happen before,
Hmm.
and he's
True.
still young enough to make it happen. I just hope that he finally gets the picture and understands the type of work that's necessary when you're a
Hmm.
quarterback in the NFL. It's different, and you have to
It
treat it
is.
as
Yeah.
such.
That's why I said maturity was. I don't think he was ready for it. Obviously, I think he wanted it, but it's different. When you want something, you actually obtain it. Sometimes you're like, man, this is a lot more than what I thought it was gonna be. And for him, I don't think he was ready. From a mental standpoint. And then obviously physically, like he just couldn't stay healthy. And hopefully, there'll be a turning point for him. I'm praying for him a turning point this off season. Big Dog said, I think he's just a big dog. You in here trolling like Nasir when it comes to Shador. What's going on? I'm gonna say some prayers for him though. Like I said, I believe he does have promise. He just needs to, go figure it out. Go talk to somebody, talk to his mom or his brother or something and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean they might have to move him to tight end. I've seen quarterbacks change position before. I've seen Terrell
Hmm.
Pryor turn into a solid
Oh
wide
yeah,
receiver.
you could do that
He
too,
was a
yeah.
solid wide receiver. So I
Hmm.
mean, maybe I seen Matt Jones turn into a pretty good tight end for a while. So maybe he can play tight end. Maybe he can play another position.
Maybe he can. Either way, it still comes with, maturity,
Yeah,
responsibility,
and hard work.
so yeah, so he gotta get that part down no matter what position he's playing. And back up, tight end, whatever it may be. And that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna move along, you guys. We doing good on time today, y'all. We doing good on time today. I'm so proud of us. Yay. All right, so there was a really going back to yesterday, right? Where all the games were. There was a really, really big game yesterday, you guys, between the Packers and the Bears. And Jordan Love, he's looking pretty good, pretty confident. My guy Christian is back. You were hating on Christian a few weeks
I
ago, but it's
wasn't
all
hating on
good.
Christian.
We gonna forget about that. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna bring it up, hater. But it's all good. He's out there getting busy. What do you think though about the Packers? Are you more confident now in Jordan Love? Are you feeling like what this Packers team is legit and they can actually win a Super Bowl this year?
Well, the defense is playing up to par. I will give them that, and
Hmm.
it's I gotta give Jordan Love credit. He's been inconsistent, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, all his wide receivers have been hurt this year. Yesterday was the first time where he had Jaden Reed, Christian Watson was there, Romeo Dobbs was there. He didn't even they didn't have to even play the rookie Matthew Golden and Devontae Wicks. They didn't have to play them much at all because he had his guys. Only thing he's
Mm-hmm.
missing now is a tight end, and Luke Musgrave made a couple great catches yesterday. They kind of filled in that spot. So Jordan Love looks really good when he has his weapons at his disposal. And if the offense is going to run like that and the
Mm-hmm.
defense going to play up to the level that they're playing at, oh, they have as good a shot as anybody in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's always, when playoff time, rolls around, which Jordan Love are we gonna get? Because Jordan Love, he has some high moments, and then he has some low moments. I'm never quite sure who's gonna show up. Like which J Love is gonna show up today. And for the past few weeks, he's been consistent. Going back to Thanksgiving, and then going back to to yesterday. And by the way, the Bears showed up. Okay, I don't know when they play again in a couple of 12 days. I'm not sure I could say the Packers are gonna win that game again. Um, so, it was a pretty good game. But overall, I mean, they have everything they need to get the Super Bowl and ultimately win it. I'm just not sure about Justin Herbert sometimes in big moments because what I've seen before in the playoffs. But you never know. You truly don't. Having Micah there, obviously it brings a different edge to it in terms of the defense. And there's a lot of talent in the NFL this year. A lot of young talent specifically, like Lamar. I'm not sure what's going on with Lamar. The Bills are up and down. I hate to say it. The Chiefs, I don't know. Don't bring up the Chiefs. Like it's looking like we're gonna have some young QBs in the NFL. In the Super Bowl this year. So I don't know. Joe Love could be one of them.
Yeah, I mean that's good for the league. It's good for the league. Like I said, Jordan Love. When you're in Green Bay and you're the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Super
Mm-hmm.
Bowl is the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Bart Starr, you go back to Bart Starr winning the Super Bowl. You go to Brett Favre, he got it done. Then Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers got it done. Really, they got it done at the age that Jordan Love is now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Green Bay Packers fan is concerned, this is the year that Jordan Love is supposed to win the Super Bowl. So, hey, let's see what you got. Your defense is there. You receive if your receivers can stay healthy, because they've all been riddled with some sort of injury at one point or another. Christian
Mm-hmm.
Watson is he stays dinged up, so it's good that
Don't be
he's out
rude. Don't
there.
be rude.
No, I mean it's the truth. He stays dinged up, and a lot of times he's dealing with hamstring injuries, and hopefully he can stay healthy because he's a huge weapon for Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
As far as stretching the field goes, I mean you can get it to him and he can take it all the way to the house, and so yeah, he needs his weapons around him, and the running game is solid. So yeah, let's see what they got.
I think obviously every QB needs their weapons, right? Because it's a team sport. Like no one can just do it alone, by themselves. But I will say, for me, it's not like I said, it's not about the weapons or lack thereof, because obviously he does have to have some weapons. For me, it was nice to see like Jordan take over, in both of these games. I saw him extend plays where he needed to, made the right read, in terms of, getting the ball where he needed to get it, and I was like, okay, I see maturity from last year to this year. I see some growth in him. So I don't think they're gonna win it all this year, but in the years to come, if they keep playing like this, they keep building. Absolutely, why not? Between him, I mean, Bo Nix, Mayday, all the young ones are coming up. It's like reminds me like the NBA, like OKC, like it's like the changing of the guard. LeBron, Steph, KD, on their way out, and obviously, Pat and Lamar and Josh, they're younger, so they're not leaving no time soon, God willing. But there's a shift, with who we
Right.
thought was going to be, just head over heels above the rest of the pack this season. And that's not even the case. I think Josh would be the only ones. I don't think the Ravens at this point. I can't think of Ravens and Chiefs. I'm not sure what's going to happen this season. It looks like the Bills do still have a chance, but that defense is questionable. So, who knows? We shall see, though.
Yeah, it's wide open right now. The way the NFL, the nature of the game is,
Hmm.
there's no better time to win than now.
Hmm.
Tomorrow isn't promised for any team, for any players. No, injuries
Many of us, yeah.
are the big equalizer in this league.
Mhm,
So you can have a team that you think going forward will be solid, and an injury
mhm,
here, there, derail the whole thing, especially at the quarterback's position. So,
yeah. Hence the
uh,
Colts.
right. So if you got an opportunity to win it, you got to seize the moment, or
Mhm.
else. I mean, hell, Dan Marino got to a Super Bowl his first year, and he never saw a Super Bowl again. That's just how the NFL works.
It's really, really hard to get there, even harder to win, even harder to go back to, go back to back, so yeah, teams are getting a lot better, getting a lot stronger. So the talent, is spread out. Before, you might have had over here, over there. Now it's like the playing field is being leveled. So I forgot
Right.
about Caleb. Speaking of Caleb, you guys, right? Because I know you were kind of hard on Caleb throughout earlier in the
Yeah.
season,
Thank
but
God they were playing
they
Caleb
have
yesterday.
they have since made strides. Last week, Ben Johnson had a shirt off in the locker room. He was excited for the win. Um, how are you feeling? Are you a believer? Are you finally a believer in Caleb
No.
Williams now? Minus the nail polish. Don't think about the nail polish. Just focus on the play.
Right. I just saw him play yesterday against the Green Bay Packers. He didn't look
Mm-hmm.
good at all.
You think he played well?
Oh, he did. He played awful yesterday. Go look at the numbers. And then he
Mm-hmm.
threw the game. I mean, at the end of the game, he got
Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore wide open. DJ Moore's going to coast, walk into the end zone, but
Mm-hmm.
instead decides to go a little bit deeper and throw it to Keyshawn Nix. But the problem is Keyshawn Nix played for the other team. No, he looked awful yesterday. But I will say this about Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's made strides this season. He's playing better this year than he did last year, but I still don't trust him. And he's playing in Chicago, and in this time of the year, it's cold. And this is a kid from USC who's used to playing in warm weather. I have to see it, but man, I will say this about the Chicago Bears: their running game is impressive. They run the ball and they run the ball and they keep on
Mm-hmm.
running and they run it well. And the last few weeks, they ran the ball so well that they've been able to actually not put too much of a load on Caleb Williams' shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if somebody can stop the run and
Mm-hmm.
force Caleb Williams to have to pass the ball 30 to 40 times. And then we can see what he's really made of. But yeah, he didn't play well yesterday at all.
I mean, well, look, hey, what's up, Mel? How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for dropping by. What's up? What's up? Honestly speaking, I think he played fairly well. I am from New York. You didn't know? I'm from New York. Yeah, duh. Brooklyn
You don't
in
get
the
an
house.
accent.
I don't have an accent. You have the accent, sir. Okay, Brooklyn in the house. Okay, you guys do not be fooled. Brooklyn all day, every day. But honestly, going back to Caleb, right? So if that's not playing well. And the fact of the matter is, they still had a chance to tie that game. They were right there, right there, right there, right there. You go, was it 21-28 final score? I believe
Right, right.
21-28.
28-21.
And then maybe if you try to go to a 2-point conversion, then you can win the game all the way without even going to overtime. I mean, not every pass, every play was good. Don't get me wrong. But there were things that I saw him do, and I was like, okay, Caleb, okay. Let me find out because I haven't been always like the biggest believer in him. But I do like what I saw, like what I'm seeing from him, week in and week out. No matter what happens, like for him, their season is a success. From where he came from last season to how to look this season, like the team, him, and
Oh,
individually,
they
him
gotta make the
and Ben
playoffs for it to
Johnson.
be a It gotta make the playoffs for it to be a success. If they don't make a playoffs, then that's what the expectations were. Playoffs. And they
For
still
me, I don't think so because it was so awful last season. I mean, it was awful. There was so many different changes going on, and he just looked like it was like, wait, is this the one we should have picked number one? Like, is this a generational talent? Is this one we're comparing to Patrick Mahomes? Like, those were the conversations, because coming into it last year, I kept hearing Patrick Mahomes-esque. I kept hearing 4,000 yards in his rookie season. I was like, whoa, y'all, let him be a rookie. There's a lot of
right.
expectations out there. We haven't even seen him play in an NFL preseason game. But there was so many things thrown out there. And obviously, they had Matt who needs to go. Thank God they got rid of him. Different offensive coordinators. It was a complete mess, But I think him and Big Ben, they have figure something out in terms of the relationship. Obviously, it's still growing, but I do like the strides that I saw that he made. And for me, when I was looking at Caleb coming into the season, like I wasn't looking for him to go from what he did last year to playoffs and Super Bowl. I was looking to see, like, can you make progress? Can you actually win more than 6 games, compared to last year? Will you at least be able to put your team in playoff contention? Even if you don't make it, are you making strides do you look promising? Is there promise there? And I see
Right.
that from him. So for me, I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I think they feel confident they found their guy. Last year it was kind of like, did we find? Did we not find him? But I think now they feel okay. We got him. We got our coach, and we can build on that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's definitely a guy. I think with all the talent that's around him on
Hmm.
offensive and defensive side of the ball, I can understand why the people in Chicago had high expectations because
Hmm.
he was the number one pick, and you do
Hmm.
expect the number one pick to play at a certain level. Again, I think the running game has been great. I think the defense,
Hmm.
definitely Nation Wright. It seems like he gets an interception every week.
Hmm.
Um, he played. I mean, I'm looking at yesterday's numbers. He was 54% passing, 19 to 35, 186 yards. He threw a pick. He did throw two
Hmm.
touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns, the touchdown to Zacchaeus, where he was rolling out to the right, scrambling, and he threw a dart. I mean,
Hmm.
right on the sideline, and it went right through the defender, right into Zacchaeus' hand. That's next
Hmm.
level.
Hmm.
See, because one thing about Caleb Williams, he was number one pick for a reason because his arm talent is exceptional. He has
Hmm.
exceptional arm talent. Sometimes it's about making reads. Sometimes he overshoots the receivers,
Hmm.
and sometimes he bails. But he's a good bailler. I think he gets out of more sacked situations than any other quarterback in the league. So he has some positive things about him, which is why he is their guy. Ben Johnson accepted that job
Hmm.
on the premise that Caleb Williams was the quarterback.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see if he continues his trajectory up as the years go, if he'll continue to get better and better, or if he'll regress, or if he's peaked out. We'll see. But I think this is already at 9-4. This is already a successful season for the Chicago Bears, considering, like you said, what they did last year.
Yeah. I know you like no more victories, and I get it. Everybody wants to win. Only one team can win.
Right, right.
Only
That's the
one team
team
is
that you
gonna win. Yeah.
celebrate.
Only two will get to the end. Only one will leave heartbroken, devastated.
Right.
Other team will be like, yes, we did it. Crying and everything. It's not flowing at the end, sometime February. So it is what it is. But they're building, they're going in the right direction, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
I know last season, I believe they said he led the league in sacks, that he was sacked 46 times last season.
Yeah, yeah, he was
I
sacked a
was like,
lot.
oh my
He was
God.
holding on to the ball a lot last year. He's
Like,
he's done better. And
he looks more confident too. Last year, like he was like lost to me. I was like he never played football before last year. Sometimes I was like, dude, what are you doing?
yeah, yeah, I think he got better coaching this year. I
Yeah,
really do. I didn't like
absolutely.
Eberflus. Eberflus just wasn't a good head coach. Maybe he's a better defensive coordinator, but I don't know. I can't tell by the way the Dallas
Yeah, I'm
Cowboys
about to say
defense
that's
is
that.
looking.
That
So
I'm not
you know,
sure about that. I was like, maybe they got some different people. Okay, maybe he can't actually coach defense. Now I'm like, oh, Matt. I don't know what's going on. We have to wait and see though. But I
right.
do think as far as the Cowboys goes, when them seeing the Eagles lose, I think they're going to have some new life offensively. Come next game. I don't know about the defense, but I think the offense is gonna show up. Hopefully, CD can play. I haven't seen anything about him being ruled out with the whole concussion thing. So moving along, you guys, we're gonna move along because I think I'm like, it's over. This is over. This current regime of the Chiefs and this dynasty with everyone they have on the roster right now, including Travis Kelsey, this is over. Like this is over. It's not gonna happen at this point. So I think we need to just kind of accept it. What do you think though? When you watch this game, are you hopeful that the Chiefs will still make the playoffs?
I can't say I am. After
You
the way
you,
I
you
seen Pat
you said you
Mahomes
are?
play yesterday, no, I said I can't say I am. The
Okay.
way I seen Pat Mahomes play yesterday was discouraging.
Hmm.
I've never seen him play that. I think that was the worst game he's ever played in the NFL. I was reading that somewhere earlier. This was the
Hmm.
first time he had a game where he threw multiple interceptions and no touchdowns.
Hmm.
It was just terrible. It really was unacceptable. And I just,
Unacceptable.
yes, and I'm looking at the schedule. They have the Chargers next week with that defense. I just don't see it. Yeah, they can beat up on the Titans because the Titans are terrible, and they can beat up on the Raiders who they played the last game, but the Broncos are better than them. 2-2 just ain't gonna get you there. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. That means you're gonna finish below 500, and you don't make the playoffs when you finish below 500. Not in that division with the Broncos and the Chargers. So it's over with for the Chiefs. I
Mhm.
held on as long as I possibly could. I thought Pat Mahomes,
You did. You definitely did.
I respect Pat Mahomes' greatness enough to believe that he was
Mhm.
gonna be able to run it out.
Mhm.
But no, that team just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes, I mean, and at some point we got to start looking at it. Pat
Mhm.
Mahomes' last 2 seasons haven't been good. At some point, we're
Well,
gonna have to start to question: is he still the best quarterback in the league?
I never thought he was.
But there you go.
I never thought he
There-
was. I thought he's. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the, in terms of talent wise. Like, and obviously, his resume is a resume. Like, he's won multiple rings at this point. He's super young, so that can't be taken away. But for me, in terms of just talent, like looking at just talent, not looking at accolades or resume, anything else, I don't think he's more talented than Josh. I've
oh
always
no,
said that.
come on! I knew you were
I
gonna
don't.
say
I don't.
no.
I
He's
don't.
better than Josh,
I don't think
but
so. And just in pure, in terms of pure talent, I'm not talking about wins and things like that. Just talent alone. Just
yeah,
Josh versus Patrick. I don't think he's more talented than Josh. I think he's more
no, he's
accomplished than
not.
Josh.
He's not more
But I don't
talented
think
than a
yeah,
lot of
I
guys.
don't think he's more talented.
Lamar
And
Jackson is
I
more
said Lamar's
talented,
another one too. Lamar's
but at
another
the
one.
end of the
Obviously,
day,
they all have different strengths, but I don't
bro,
think he's more talented.
yeah, at the
And
end
I
of the
said
day, it
this.
comes down to wins and losses. I think Anthony Davis is one of the most talented basketball players I've ever
Mhm,
seen, but he's
mhm.
nowhere near the best.
No, okay, I get that.
Right.
But
So
no, because no, you said, we gotta, like, we had to have a conversation, like, is he still the best? I'm like, I
oh,
don't
it's
think he was
time.
ever, like, yeah, like the best, like, QB
It's
personally
time.
from a talent standpoint. But I said this before, and I think I told my son this a while ago. I was like, I want to see how it looks when he doesn't have the same strength of team around him, because a lot of this is a team success. I know we always talk about the quarterback being the reason why you win, the reason why you lose, and they get paid all the
Mm-hmm.
big bucks. But this is a full team sport, okay? Like
Right.
you got tight ends, you got defensive line, like everybody has a part in the role to play, coaching staff, and it's the whole thing, organization, GM's gonna write players in there, everything goes into winning a championship and then winning multiple, so that whole organization is a solid organization, first class in terms of how they do things, how they know their players and everything. But for me, I'm like, okay, because last year for me, I'm like, they kept winning, 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 and I'm like, it doesn't look good. And I was like, well, Kaja, they're winning, like, so they're winning. Wins are wins, losses are losses. I'm like, I always
Right.
look at how it looks when you lost. How does it look when you win? Winning by the skin of your teeth on a botch call from the refs that just kind of saved you. I'm like, okay, really? Like, we're gonna call that right now? Right now? Okay, fine. It's the Chiefs. I get it. That's how it goes. But last year, even lead up to Super Bowl, I'm like, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna three-peat. Not the way they look. They're winning, yes, but it's the quality of wins. It doesn't look good. So I was like, they're not going to win. No matter who they played, who the opponent was, I wasn't confident they were going to win. Fast forward to this season, and like it just looks even worse. And earlier, I forgot what I was listening to, and they were saying that Patrick Mahomes accounts for 76% of their offense. That is a problem. That is a problem. That is too much for one person for an entire NFL season. This is a violent sport. You can't expect any quarterback every game to go out and perform at the top, top, top when they're accounting for that much of the offense. You got to find a way to balance that out. And I think last night that having to account for so much, him trying so hard, like, okay, we got to win this game, we got to win this game. Even if like I was messaging you, I'm like, this team is playing really, really hard. You know what I mean? Like, they're going out, like they lost like what three players in the first quarter of the game. It wasn't even like the second quarter yet, and they were going dropping down like flies. I'm like, they out there. They felt like they were desperate, and we never see that
Oh,
from
they
like a
were
Chiefs
desperate.
team. Like, but we never usually see it from them. You know what I mean? Like, they never like
Right.
really have it on display. And I feel like that was evident. And I feel like because Patrick was trying so hard, he was just making things worse. And I said, they got to get him some more help. They got to figure it out. But this regime right here, right now, where it is right now, it's over. I think he's about to go into a little bit of a break, like Tom Brady did, before he gets back. I think he will get back again though, but I think it's gonna be for a little while.
Well, Even when Tom Brady wasn't winning Super Bowls for that 10-year stretch, he still was the best quarterback in the league. Look, Pat Mahomes, I'm only saying that the conversation needs to be had. Going back to his first 7 years in the league,
Mm-hmm.
say 4 of those, the last 4 years, he's definitely been the best quarterback in the league. I mean, every year he's been a starting quarterback, he's been no worse than the AFC Championship. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. The close games, all those close games they were winning last year, they're losing those close games this year. So it just, when you finally look at the totality of what happened last year, he put the worst offensive numbers he had put up in his career, and then
Mm-hmm.
you to this season and you seeing what happened. Definitely coming off this last game, like you said, there's a lot of young quarterbacks out here who somebody's gonna make a run.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make a run in the AFC. We're gonna see a new AFC champion for the first time in 4 years. Okay,
Yeah,
somebody's
looks like
gonna
it.
make a run in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity for some young quarterback to kind of put his name in the conversation of I am the best. Or we might be getting back to a point in the NFL where you don't have to have the best quarterback to win. Because it was at one point in the NFL, if your defense was good enough and your running game was good enough, you just
Mm-hmm.
need to have a quarterback who didn't turn the ball over. That's why you saw the Brad Johnsons, the
Mm-hmm.
Trent Dilfers. You saw guys like them winning Super Bowls. They weren't great quarterbacks, but the defense and the running game that they had was able to carry the team, and they just didn't have to turn the ball over. Then you
Mm-hmm.
came to an era where, okay, you had to have a really good quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But now maybe we're getting back to where teams are complete again. You might not have to have the best quarterback in the league to necessarily win a Super Bowl. You
Mm-hmm.
just need to have a viable option at quarterback. So I guess we're gonna see in the next 5-6 weeks or so.
We shall see. Big Dog said Mahomes is the third greatest QB of all time. Whew, y'all be throwing all time out there so fast, man. Like, I don't give anybody that kind of crown. I like to see how people's careers go, like not how it starts, but all the way through. Before I'm like, okay, he's the greatest, or But
Yeah.
but I understand because he's young. He's won so much. It's been a consistency. They've been dominant. I understand why he's in a conversation. I absolutely get it.
I would ask him his criteria. I would say Pat Mahomes is one of the more accomplished quarterbacks of all time,
He's
but
very accomplished.
I
Can't
don't
take that
even
away
think
from him.
Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. I think he's the most accomplished quarterback
Mm-hmm.
of all time. But with my eyes, Steve
What do you,
Young,
okay,
Steve
so what do
Young,
your
and
eyes
John
tell you? Okay.
Elway are some of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen with my
Mm-hmm.
own eyes. For what they could do and the threat that they posed on the offense. But Tom Brady is probably the most intelligent quarterback I've ever seen, and he's the
Mm-hmm.
most accomplished quarterback I've ever seen. And he played the greatest Super Bowl, even though they lost, that I've ever seen. When he
Mm-hmm.
threw 500 yards in the Super Bowl, I mean, it was amazing, and they didn't win.
It's when it comes to questions like this, statements like this person being the GOAT, this person, being the greatest, the top five all time, best, QB, best wide receiver of all time. It's always going to be subjective. It
Right.
depends on what your preference is, what you like, like the kind of style, solid play from the QB that you might, find more appealing, to your satisfying to your liking, so we can go back and forth with that all day, but for me personally, I'm gonna wait to see how the next few years go. For me, I want to see how the next couple of years look for Pat. Right now it's very very rocky for him, and I understand. We're on the opposite side. And talk about the Texans. We're just talking about good defense. That defense is something to behold. Okay, like that defense was. They took it personal. All right, they took it personal. I think they were thinking about what
Yeah.
happened last year. They came into this game, even though it's not a playoff game. They felt like it was. You know what I mean? CJ Stroud, he's back. And honestly speaking, CJ Stroud didn't have like his individual performance, like wasn't like, oh my God, look at CJ. Like he's looking like he did, as a rookie. But it was enough for them to get the
Yes.
win with that defense. And just think back to what you said about getting back to the time where you didn't necessarily have to have game changers to win games
Hmm.
and be to get to the playoffs and win Super Bowls. You just had to have QBs who are, like you said, viable, like just game managers. Right now I feel like CJ's in the game manager category. We'll see what happens if he switches over to game change, but right now it's giving game manager. And when I think about that defense, there comes a point in time that sometimes you got to have a QB that can put up when they need to. Because right now, like I'm sold on the Houston Texans defense, but if they were in the playoffs, right, and they went against someone like Joe Burrow, right, Joe Burrow gonna throw that thing. He gonna give you at least 30. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna give you at least
Yeah, but
30
that
in
defense is
terms
gonna
of
give you
points.
40.
No, I'm just saying someone like him. It doesn't have to be Joe
Right.
Burrow.
Now I feel
But
you.
you go get someone like Josh, who can put up points. You go with someone like Joe Burrow to put up points. Bo Nix, Drake May, like they can put up points. And the defense, can only do but so much. Can their offense step up when they need to?
Yeah.
That part I'm not sold about.
Well, their defense is legit. Their
It
defense
is.
is good enough to stifle any quarterback. I don't care what that quarterback's name is. That defense is legit. No, and you stole, what I was gonna say. Like,
I did what?
yeah, because the Houston Texans have been rolling, and they're getting hot at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the type of team that could make a run to the Super Bowl with that defense. The only reason why I won't really count them as true contenders is because they don't have the running game, in my opinion, to go with that defense.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a legit running game where I was like, this running back, Marks and Chubb, could get you 100,
Mm-hmm.
150 yards every time you go out and you take some of that load off CJ, then yeah, I would put them at the top of the list. But that defense can stifle any quarterback. Fortunately for them, there's only one Joe Burrows. Other than that, everybody else, they can be had because Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, they're coming. And Stingley and Petre and those guys on the back end, oh, that defense is legit. I love what D'Amico Ryans has done. They started off slow. They've gotten hot. They've even were winning with the backup quarterback. Davis Mills came in there. They reeled off a few straight. That defense is to be reckoned with. So, hey, people better be well at the Houston Texans. They for real.
It definitely is. But like I said, for me, at some point, your offense is going to have to contribute. And playoffs are always a different beast. You got the regular season, then playoffs roll around. You're like, where the heck did they come from? They barely got in, but they're on a roll since they got in. It's always that
Right.
one team that surprises you. So, for me, that's the one concern. Because that defense, like you said, it's lights out. It really is next level. And I'm just hoping that in big moments, if something happens and the defense is not able to do what they normally do for whatever reason, that offense can come along. Because at some point, I think it's going to come down to offense just a little bit. It's not
Yeah,
always going to be
well,
just on your
I
defense.
think last night, that considering that the Chiefs were motivated
Mm-hmm.
and they came in playing defense, they came in. They brought their defense yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and
Both
the
teams did, that's
Texans
for sure.
the Texans were still able to put up 20 points. Nico Collins still made a big catch when they needed a big catch. CJ Stroud made a big throw when they needed a
Mm-hmm.
big throw, and they were able to come out with that victory. I mean, it wasn't a flashy 30-point outing, but 20
No.
points against that defense that were motivated, knowing that this was it, a desperate team. That was good. That's what made me okay. I'm like, okay, Houston Texans up for real, So, hey, we're gonna have to see.
Yeah,
The playoffs is
the
everybody in
jury's
the
out for me
playoffs.
on that offense.
Everybody in the
But
playoffs is gonna have to earn it. There's no
yeah,
easy wins in the playoffs this year.
because everybody's back at zero.
Everybody who's in the
That's
in the
it.
playoffs is gonna have to earn that W
Mhm.
that week they play, and you're gonna have to hope that the Houston Texans is not playing a game on defense, because if they're playing a game on defense, they're the best team in the playoffs. I mean, considering I think Cleveland defense is better, but Cleveland is not going to be in the
I don't
playoffs.
actually. I think the Texans defense is better. If I had to
I
choose.
mean, it's my
Mhm.
point is they're arguably better than Cleveland, and I think Cleveland has an
They are.
outstanding defense. But Houston Texans defense is right up there with
Mhm.
those guys, if not even better. So they legit. That's a Super Bowl caliber defense that they have.
Mhm. It definitely is. Yeah. When the moment calls, though, I just hope CJ can rise to the next level. And that's what I'm not sure about right now.
Right.
So we gonna see. We gonna see, like you said. All right, I'm gonna keep it rolling because I gotta go. Highway robbery. Okay, what did you think what did you think about this late call that was a touchdown, but then not a touchdown that ultimately helped seal the victory for the Steelers? Now, I always say you don't want to leave it in the ref's hands, but
Right.
damn it, sometimes it comes down to that. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're not gonna get ahead 20 points in the NBA game, to make sure that it's not about the ref's calls. You're not gonna always get 2 touchdowns ahead to make sure it's not the ref's call. But what for you? Did you think it was a touchdown or no?
Well, they say in a title fight you got to knock out the champ. You
Hmm.
can't wait. You can't put it on the judges. Uh, According to the NFL rules, it wasn't a touchdown. That's just according to the NFL rules. According to the rules of humans catching a football, it was a touchdown.
What did you think
So
when you saw it? Did you think, oh, that's a touchdown? You like, oh
when
no,
I
it's not.
initially saw, but and I gotta say, because I ride with the Steelers. When I
Hmm.
initially saw it, I was like,
Hmm.
oh, he didn't control the ball. He didn't make the necessary
Hmm.
football moves. So
Hmm.
it's incomplete pass.
Hmm.
When they showed the replay, I was
Hmm.
like, I don't know. It looked like he got the ball. It looked like he made a
Hmm.
step. It looked like he was making the second step.
Yep. Step
Um,
one,
and
two.
right, and
Right.
that
Yep.
and once you're in the end zone, you're in the end zone. You can't knock the ball out and say it's not a touchdown, but according to the NFL rules, you have to complete the play. And he didn't complete the play. So it's unfortunate what happened to him, but that's that's how the league goes. That's how the
For
league
me,
goes.
I was like, I mean, the Steelers got the win, but I think I said this to you before, and I stand by it. I do not believe for 1 second that Lamar is healthy. Um, something's I don't think he's healthy. I said that a few weeks ago, and I still stand. And like something is off. If it's not him not being 100% healthy, then mentally something else is taking him someplace else. But I know that Lamar can play better than that. I've seen him play better than that time and time again. So ever since he's come back from the injury, I'm like, I don't see the same Lamar Action Jackson, and that's what's
Yeah.
really bothering me.
Well, he tried
Um,
yesterday. He ran a little bit more yesterday, which was good to
and
see.
he
He
did
had his
he
first
did
rushing
try.
touchdown
He
since like I
tried.
think week 1,
Hmm.
which was like wow, he only had one rushing touchdown the whole year. That's abnormal. No play at this point of the season. No player is 100% healthy. That's first and foremost. But another thing is,
Well, this goes
it,
back weeks ago now. I'm not talking about like
right,
just like right now. Like
right,
ever since he's come back from injury,
right.
like from the
But
hamstring injury, like he does not look
yeah,
100%. I don't think he is.
and he might not be. But once you step on that field, all that goes out though. As far as we concerned, you playing. If you hurt, don't play. If you play, we're gonna have to judge you based on the play that you did. Whether you're 60%, whether you're
Hmm.
40%, whether you're 80% or 100. If you on that field, that's what we judge you off of. We don't
Hmm.
look at him and be like, oh, I don't think he's healthy. He got it. No, you
I
playing.
am. I'm like he ain't
Yeah.
healthy.
But yeah, we
Like,
don't do that.
I'm not
We
talking
don't
about.
do
I heard
that.
people say today. It wasn't just me. Like congratulations, Steelers, you won against the hurt, injured Lamar and like
Yeah.
beat up Ravens team.
Hey,
Um,
Aaron Rodgers is
but
playing with a broken wrist. I mean, we just saw Justin Herbert go out there with one
mhm.
arm and game it. Like, I'm not giving them if you hurt to
And
the
those
point where you think
defenses
you're
in both
gonna
of those games are the
right.
reason why they had success.
If
But I
if
feel
you're
you.
hurt to the point that you don't think you can help your team win, don't play. We don't want any. I don't want any excuses. I just don't like excuses. Either you perform well or you didn't. And Lamar Jackson, I mean, the last few weeks, 3 4 weeks, he hasn't looked like himself.
Ever
When
since he
he
came
first,
back.
when he initially came off that injury, the first game, it's like okay, Lamar Jackson back. They reeled off a couple wins in a row, and then it's like
When he
I
first came
don't.
back, I was like, he don't look healthy to me. I've been saying that since he first came back.
Yeah, but
Wins and losses, I'm like, he don't look 100% healthy.
he's reluctant to run,
Hmm.
and he wants to be more of a passer and show that he
Hmm.
can do it out the pocket. And that's the thing I really, you know, I really don't like because he's opened up for the critics to say, "I told you he wasn't a good passer."
Hmm.
And I don't like that because I know he's capable. He's shown that he's capable of passing the football and being in the
Hmm.
pocket and delivering and winning football games.
Hmm.
But now it's like, damn, Lamar, I need you to run just a little bit, just to open it up a little bit, open up some of those lanes with the threat of you running. you have those linebackers and those safeties that try to cheat just a little bit, just in case you run, and your wide receivers become a little bit more open. Those windows get a little bit bigger, and then you can make plays. So I do kind of want him to go back to using his legs more. But I got to give Pittsburgh credit. Mike Tomlin has always had Lamar Jackson's number since he's been in the league. So I just put that as that's just an outlier. I'm looking forward to see what the Ravens do going forward. And that's going to let me know everything I need to know about Lamar Jackson. But he hasn't played well in the recent weeks.
I mean, I'm glad the Steelers got the win, I guess, just for them. But I'm like, whoop-de-doo. Like, whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
It's tough for the Ravens going forward, though, because you got the Bengals, who we know, like you just outlined, they can put up points.
They're going to put up some points. Joe Burrow going to make sure you put up some points.
The Patriots are red hot, 10 in a row. Then you got the Packers, and we know what the Packers are doing and what they're trying to accomplish. And then you have the Steelers again. I mean, that's murderer's row right there. It don't look good for the Ravens this year.
It doesn't. It hasn't looked good all season long for me. But we'll see. Like I said, it's always an injury, bad play call, wrong call, whatever,
Right.
Making the wrong play, in the wrong time, and it can completely change, what happens and whether or not you get to the playoffs, one team losing some games and then you get to catch up, there's a lot of different, variables that go into it. So
yeah,
but they may still have a chance. I'm just not 100%, like we'll see what happens. Like I said, if I would feel better if I saw Lamar was himself. I'm like, Lamar is healthy and they're gonna figure it out. But the fact that he doesn't look like he's himself, he doesn't look like he's 100% healthy. I'm like, that's what has me with the question mark. Because they're gonna go as he goes. I want to ask you. They've been together for quite a few years now, right? Lamar and John. They've been together for quite a few years. At this point, after this season, no matter if they get to playoffs or they don't, is it time that perhaps maybe this duo needs to part like the Red Sea?
Who's leaving? Lamar?
I don't think it'll be Lamar. I think it'll be John.
Oh,
I can't see them trading Lamar. I'd be shocked if they did.
Yeah, you're just not gonna be down one of them. Front office people, owners, they're not quick to just get rid of good coaches. It's hard to find a good coach in the league, and when you got one, it's probably in your best interest to keep them. It'd be easier to move off a player and get another player to come in and be good than it is to move off a good coach and hope you find another good coach to come in. I like John Harbaugh. He's a good football coach. You stick with it. At some point, Lamar, it's gonna be on Lamar to just get it done. That's just point blank. I mean, they've done everything. I think every time that Lamar is ready to take another step in his play, they get an offensive coordinator whose specialty is taking him there. That's why they got Todd Monken right now. The defense, they've been wishy-washy, but they've been playing well over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Ever since they made a couple moves and moved Hamilton a little bit up in the safety box a little bit. But at the end of the day, and even you pointed this out, we just pointed out Lamar hasn't been playing well. This is gonna come down to Lamar. When he gets to the playoffs, big games, he turns the ball over. That's on Lamar. That's not on the coaching.
Derrick Henry also last season, and Mark Andrews. It was continue.
Yeah, I mean Derrick Henry.
There's quite a few different things.
Yeah, I bet, but the man ran for down to 2,000 yards. But I mean that helped. And he's not gonna give you that this year. But at the end of the day, the quarterback just got to get it done. So I don't want to see them split. I think it's a good marriage. It just you have to strike while the iron is hot, and they've yet to do it.
And that's the thing. They've had the hot iron for a while. They know that he's had better offenses around him, better defenses around him, offense and defense at the same time. And there's been opportunities, for them to get there. Even if they don't win Super Bowl, but at least to get to one. And Lamar's playoff record is not good, and I love Lamar. I hate to say it, but it's one thing if you get to the playoffs, even if you lose, it's like, man, he played his ass off, but in the playoffs, it's like, ooh, what's going on, Lamar,
I still think he needs one more wide receiver. I don't
You
think
might be
Zay
right.
Flowers is enough. I mean, I like Mark Andrews, I like
Hmm.
Isaiah Likely, I like Zay Flowers, but Rashad Bateman is inconsistent.
Hmm.
I mean, even just yesterday against Pittsburgh, Rashad Bateman dropped the pass that if he catches it, he walks into the end zone. And
Hmm.
this was on third down. Now, instead of getting a touchdown, you force the team to kick a field goal. Well, that ended up being the difference in the game. So I think he needs one more dynamic wide
Interception.
receiver. They signed DeAndre Hopkins at the beginning of the season, but DeAndre Hopkins is he's a one player game guy. Eh, For one play every game, he can make a play for you potentially, but
Sometimes you need
he's
that. It's
not
that one play to come in.
right.
Boom.
But he's not DeAndre Hopkins.
Hmm.
That Houston Texans DeAndre Hopkins
Hmm.
when he was a top 5 wide receiver in the league. He's not that
Hmm.
anymore. So they need one more wide receiver on the outside that can really help Lamar. Maybe LeJounte Webster. Maybe
Hmm.
next year he'll be and elevated his game a little bit more, and he can be that guy.
Justin
But
Jefferson. No, go ahead.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe I mean JJ McCarthy played really well yesterday. Maybe another year of a whole offseason of training camp. Maybe JJ McCarthy ends up being that guy. He
He
played
is
really well
very. He's
yesterday.
so very streaky to me. I don't know what's
Yeah, but
going on
he's
with
he's
him.
a rookie though, so I can't.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
even I'm just. It's not just him being a rookie though. Like I don't expect him to come out, and throw 55 points every single game. But I don't see any kind of consistency each game. Even if it's like a little something, I'm like just a little something. It's just like all over the place every time. So I don't know, but I mean, like you said, it's like this was like his first, year. He was hurt last
Right.
year. He's been hurt a lot this season as well.
Hmm.
So the jury's out in terms of JJ. How he goes.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm
He's
if I'm
he's
Justin
out.
Jefferson, I'm like, get me up out of here. Like, don't waste my good years.
Yeah, you might do that, and you might end up missing out. We saw Devontae Adams do that. He did that with Jordan Love, and
Hmm.
then it took him a while before he got to Matthew Stafford. But everywhere he went, he was disgruntled. He was like, "I should have just stayed in Green Bay with Jordan Love." Right,
Hmm.
because he's a young
Didn't he
quarterback.
leave
You
him?
gotta
He left to follow Aaron Rodgers, right? Did he not leave to follow AR?
Yeah, I mean, he did go to the Jets, but before he went to the Jets, he went to the Raiders. He went to follow Derek Carr because Derek Carr was his best friend. So he went to the Raiders, and then the Raiders moved on, and he had Jimmy Garoppolo, and then he ended up going to Aaron Rodgers, and it didn't
Hmm.
work out. And now he got Matthew Stafford, so he's happy
Hmm.
again.
Yeah,
But you got to be careful what you wish for in this league. You
that's
can
true.
leave a
You're absolutely right.
quarterback
You do.
and end
Yeah, I
up
mean,
going
you
and
don't.
being a way worse situation. Just
Yeah.
just be patient with your young quarterback. Um, Drake
Well,
May last year, he looked like he couldn't play football a lick. And this year, he's one of the
I saw
best
promise in him towards
quarterbacks
when
in
they
the
put him at
league.
the end of the season. I saw promise in him.
Yeah, towards the end of the season, he
Yeah, I
started to
saw it.
look
Yeah.
better. He started to look better towards the end of the season. Just like if JJ McCarthy can
And his
produce the
health is
way
a
he produced
concern for me
yesterday,
too. JJ. I'm like, dude. Every time he
right,
come back, he back out again.
right. I mean, he
He
got to be
started off. He
healthy.
started off out. I'm like, what's
Yeah,
going
I mean, you
on?
got to be healthy. It's a tough league. You
Oof.
got to try to stay healthy. But
Hmm.
like I said, if he can replicate what he did this week going forward, then you can say, okay, I can see something in him. But it just takes time for these young quarterbacks. I don't like to write them off until about year 3.
My thing is, Jalen has been there for a little while now. And I know he got paid and everything and all that, so I
Right.
understand it, but we talking about top 5, top 2, depending on how you feel about him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think
Him,
he's the
Chase,
top
depending on who
2,
you
top
ask.
3.
Like I want to go someplace where I have the best chance. I mean, I know sometimes they send you where they want to send you. You can't always, pick where you want to go. But if they are willing to work with him, if he has a chance, I mean, I would talk to my agent, see what my options are at this point, because don't waste my good years. You're only young for a certain amount of time. He's also had his injuries as well. When I'm healthy and I'm out there, like I want to be able to compete at the highest level. And I want also to be able to win. I want to just like, oh man, here we are, we asked out again. It is hurt again. They got rid of Sam. Like it's all over the place. So we'll see. I don't think he's going to ask for a trade though.
Nah.
I don't anticipate him asking. But I think at some point, if it keeps looking like it does now, he will.
You ask for a
Um,
trade on the last year of your contract. You don't ask for a trade while you're in the middle of your contract and they paying you a buttload of
mhm,
money. But if it comes down to your last year of your
we'll
contract
see. Hmm.
and you don't want to re-sign there,
Hmm.
and you say, man, y'all just go ahead and trade me somewhere
Mhm,
or release me and let me go about my business.
mhm.
But he still got time.
All right. X Zepper 5637. What's up? I haven't seen you in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cowboys still have a chance at the division. Hold on. Call me crazy. I said this beginning of the show. I actually think they do still have a chance. I really do. With the way the Eagles are looking, the offense, the way the offense is looking, I think the Cowboys do have a chance. I really do.
Except for mathematically, the Cowboys have a chance mathematically. But based on the schedule, they don't have a chance because Philadelphia Eagles get to play Las Vegas Raiders and they get to play the Commanders twice. And the Cowboys, they still have to play the Chargers and they got to play the Vikings. The Vikings play pretty good defense. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the Cowboys can win 3 out of their next 4 games because they also have the Vikings, they have the Commanders, and they have the Giants. I think they can
Mm-hmm.
win all those games.
Those are winnable
The,
games for them.
the Chargers
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be a tough matchup. Not saying they can't win that game, but the Chargers pose a different threat, especially considering that the Cowboys defense isn't that
Mm-hmm.
good, and they can be had, especially with the weapons that the Chargers have. So
It depends on what
when I'm
defense
just
shows up.
right, well, we
Like, are
already
we
know
getting
what
the same
this.
defense we saw the past few weeks? Or are we getting
Yeah,
what we saw last week? And obviously, this is a week to week league. I learned that more and more. Like one week the team is all the way up here, the next week they come crashing down. You're like, what in the entire heck was that? What happened? So, but for me, the Cowboys offense is going up while the Eagles offense is going down. And as much as the defense
yeah,
keeps them in games, they be playing their asses on keeping them in games. Like they did again tonight. Like they kept that score
yeah.
pretty much even so that they could still win, even with the field goal. And then Jalen Hurts, with interceptions and AJ dropping the ball and
Hmm.
the penalties, moving back, all those different things. It's a complete mess, So
Yeah.
for me, the Cowboys, they definitely have a chance. Now, will they ultimately get in? Who knows? But they do have a chance. If the
The
Eagles are
defense is
playing better,
important.
if the Eagles are playing better on the offensive side of the ball, I'll be like, okay, with that defense, I'll be like, okay, they're playing better. But they're just each game they lose a little bit more to me. Like each game with each loss, they come down just a little bit more. I'm just like,
Well,
and you
thank
and you
God
see
for the Raiders.
the body language, you just see like you feel like the confidence just leaving the team. You just like they're all like,
Right,
oh, on the
right,
sidelines, the faces like, oh, again,
right.
like so all those things to me what I'm looking at aside from just the schedule. Hold
Yeah.
on. Oh, it's a long comment in here. Hold on. Hold on. Raiders starting Kenny Pickett most likely. What if he balls out in a revenge game? Next week we will see how bad they really are. Okay, okay. Hold
You mean
on. Numero uno,
they
what's
playing the
up?
back or quarterback? It's bad. The Raiders are ready to lose it all. They want to get a high draft pick. They're not even trying to win football games. So thank God for the Raiders. If I'm the Eagles, I'm thanking my lucky stars that I got to play the Raiders.
Don't go in there assuming you're just gonna get a win though. That's how you end up losing.
Oh yeah, you can assume you can win that game. They don't even have to play that
Mhm.
game. They can go ahead and
Okay.
just write that in.
Okay. Yeah, I do still have the Eagles winning division, but I think it's going to come down to a half a game difference, and Cowboys just miss out. I don't think anyone should take anything for granted in this league. I don't. Like the minute you come into a game, like we good, we got it. They only won one game, and we've won 10. That'd be the one game that they get up on you. These are still professional. At the end of the day, they're still
Oh,
being paid. Even if they're on a lower tier in terms of talent. Do
the
for the
Eagles won't
Eagles.
take it for granted. I'm taking it for granted. The Eagles won't take it for granted. They're
Mm-mm.
gonna go in knowing they gotta win the football
They
game.
they better
The Eagles
win the
the
next.
Eagles are in desperation mode right now. They gotta fix some things on offense. I'm just saying I don't believe the Raiders got enough in the back
Hmm.
pocket to do anything to the Eagles, but you gotta still go play the game at the end of the day
Hmm.
because they still are a professional football team and on any given Sunday.
Yep. Like you said, I agree. It's all pros in the NFL. Anything can happen. Yeah. We gonna see. We definitely gonna see. We gonna see. Oh man. Oh, I gotta ask you really quickly about this, right? Because last week they were they were hitting them with the boos. They were like, fire Mike Tomlin. I thought about you and I heard the crowd chanting the fire Mike Tomlin. I was like, oh man, is is Nadi hearing this, watching the television? What is he thinking? But obviously they got the win this week against the Ravens, albeit questionable with that call. Do you feel like he's done enough to secure his job? And I know you think they should keep him, as the head coach, because you like Mike Tomlin, all those different things. Um, but like I said, at some point, I don't know if they don't win a playoff game this season again with Aaron Rodgers. I think there's going to be some different decisions being made. Now, it may not be him personally, being booted out of that organization, but I think something's going to change because at some point it has to. We cannot keep saying every single year, Mike Tomlin is great. We know he is, and the standard is a standard, but it never results in a playoff win. Like, how long are we going to keep saying that for the next 10 more years?
However long that Mike Tomlin decided to be the coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next year, Aaron Rodgers won't be the quarterback. Next year, the quarterback is probably going to be Will Howard. He'll probably be the quarterback if they feel like he's developed enough. He'll be the guy, and they'll put more weapons around him and hope he plays well. But I'm not worried. I don't listen to those people because Pittsburgh Steelers doesn't fire head coaches. Mike Tomlin has to step down. If he decides to step down, which he might do a Andy Reid and just say,
I think he should.
I've had a lot of time here and I'm ready to step down and I'm gonna go elsewhere and sit out for a year or so, and then because if Mike Tomlin is available, he's number one on everybody's list to come bring in and be the head coach. He's
a great head coach. I'm not gonna take that away from him.
He's probably the best head coach. He's either number one. He's top 3 head coaches in the league right now. I like Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh is an excellent coach. Mike Tomlin is an excellent coach. I like Mike Vrabel. I think he's an excellent coach. So if Mike Tomlin is available, he's gonna have no problem getting a gig. That's nothing. But again, Pittsburgh fans are spoiled, and it's okay. That it just shows to how great of a head coach he is.
Spoiled with what?
When you get
they haven't won anything in a while.
You get tired of just making the playoffs. It's
I think anybody should.
Look at the Falcons. The Falcons haven't been to the playoffs in 8 years. Like, they would love to have Mike Tomlin come over there and end that drought. Even if it's
it depends on where your team is. If you haven't gotten there at all in years, you just want to get there. Like, we'll get there with the loss and we're cool because that's some progress for us. But if you've been there, you like the Buffalo Bills and Josh gets there to that championship round and then he's back at home again, it depends on the team. There's levels to it. Lamar, 2-time MVP, like the expectations are different. For different teams, different QBs. As great as Mike Tomlin is the head coach, honestly, I said this a long time ago, and it's not because he's not great. I think this team has gone as far as it's going to go with him. I don't see them win the Super Bowl with him at all anymore. I don't see it happening. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know the future, but I think it's hit its max.
He's a positive. The negative is you got to have your quarterback.
I can't give him an excuse year after year.
He's had retread quarterbacks the last couple of years because they're just trying to be good enough. They're just trying to be good enough to keep winning. But
I can't give him an excuse when I see DeMeco over there, who hasn't been the coach as long, came in there with CJ Stroud, and even with CJ Stroud not being his best, look, that defense is lights out, and they are consistent. They spent. But they haven't spent. I don't know. But he's on the younger side. I'm just saying. I feel like when I'm watching that team, I have more faith that they're gonna get Super Bowl before Mike Tomlin does with the Steelers.
Well, it's yet to be seen. Like you always say, you got to get in the playoffs to have a chance.
So, you do, absolutely.
As long as he get in the playoffs, that means they have a chance. And the defense is capable. That's one thing I know about the Steelers. The defense is capable.
The defense is inconsistent. A week ago, we were like, where the defense at? Like, what happened? This is the highest paid defense in the NFL, and there was nowhere to be found. When they played against the Bills, I honestly thought it was going to be tough for the Bills. I really did. I was like, they're going to make it real tough on Josh. It's going to be a difficult matchup. And instead, the Bills are just running all up and through there. I was like, oh, okay.
The offense only scored 7 points against the Bills.
I was like, what's going on?
Your offense has to help your defense. The offense, you start, is that's the Mason Rudolph game? Like, come on, like, you scored 7 points. You can't
Aaron Rodgers played in that game. Mason didn't play that much.
Aaron Rodgers scored 7 points. You can't score 7 points and expect to beat the Bills. It ain't like the Bills hung up 30 on them like the Bears did the week before. Now, I will give the Chicago Bears put up them. That was the Mason Rudolph game with the Chicago.
Mhm.
They hung up 31 points on with their running game. But then the week before that, they played the Bengals. The Bengals only scored 12. And Joe Flacco was lighting the league up at that time. So
Mhm.
I mean, the defense, to your point, it is inconsistent,
It's been
but they
inconsistent. I
are
don't know
very
what defense
capable.
is going to show up.
Right, but
If I'm going to
capable.
if I'm going for what they can do,
Right.
like last year, it was great, and then it just kind of died down towards the end of the season. And Russ got the blame, obviously, because he
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah, yeah.
looked good, and no in Denver, and no in first year, with Daniel Hackett, and then everything happened with Sean, and then fast forward to the Steelers. Russ took a lot of the heat, but TJ
Yeah.
Watt disappeared at the end of last year. Like I was like, what's going on with TJ? Like he's like the one constant I'm looking for. Win or lose, I'm usually I'm used to him playing at a certain level, and him and the rest of
Yeah.
the defense kind of just disappeared. Like I said, last week against the Bills, I'm like, last week before last, it might have so much
Week
going on.
before last against the
Um,
Bills.
but I'm just like, where's the defense? Like, what the heck is happening?
TJ Watt
So
has
like,
been absent these
you
past few
know,
weeks.
huh?
TJ Watt has been absent these past few weeks. That ain't got nothing to do with Mike Tomlin. That
No,
got
I'm just
everything to do with TJ Watt.
No, but look, I'm not gonna. I know you like Mike. And Mike is cool and all that, but I'm not going to absolve him of responsibility.
No, I'm
Because
saying
when it comes to other
he top three
coaches,
coach in the league, then I mean I can't
you're entitled to that opinion. I don't think he's top three. I really don't. And that's just how I feel about it. I think he is still a good head coach. I think he's well respected. I think if he did get fired, I don't think it's going to happen. But if he did, or he said I'm going to leave here and go someplace else, somebody else will absolutely pick him up, and they should. I just think with the Steelers, I don't. It's not going to result in a Super Bowl. I think it's hit its
yeah.
peak at this point,
Well,
and that's
this
okay to
the thing
say.
about it. There's teams that haven't won a Super Bowl in 20, 30, 40
But we're not talking
years.
about. We're talking about that
No,
team, though.
I know. And for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I mean, for the most part, most Pittsburgh Steelers fans are really
Mhm.
cool with Mike Tomlin being there because they know what they got. But for
Mhm.
the Pittsburgh Steelers fans that are not liking Mike Tomlin and think it's time to
Mhm.
move on, be careful what you wish for because he can move on and then you can find yourself 10 years, 11 years, no playoffs, looking for a quarterback, looking for a defense. You don't got a defense. Yeah, be careful what you ask for. Like,
It depends on what you're looking for. If you are okay, if your ownership and you're okay with just getting there and not getting past there, then that's all. That's all that matters for you. That's what the goal is for you. So that's what your goal is for your team, organization, for your coaching, for your players. Then this conversation is not for you. You know what I
right.
mean? For those who want to move forward, who want to have some sort of progress, this is a different conversation
Yeah, there's no
because
progress.
I can like somebody and be like, you're absolutely wonderful, you're great, you're all the things, but I need to see
Yeah.
some progression. You know what I mean? How do we get there? How do I help you get there? You know what I
Like
mean?
you
What do we need to
say,
do?
I can't
Like
make
what
the
is it?
Super Bowl if I don't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If I make the playoffs, I have a chance. The NFL is a league where it's one game and you're out. You don't get to play a best 4 out of 7. You get to play one
Mm-hmm.
game and you're
Yeah.
out. And that's why is and Buffalo Bills haven't been to the Super Bowl since the 90s
Nope.
when they were getting beat every year.
And I said a few
Like
weeks ago, and
that was
maybe
enough.
I don't know, maybe
Chicago
Sean,
Bears haven't been to
maybe
the Super
Sean, I don't know.
Bowl.
And I like Sean, but
Right. Like Chicago Bears, went to one they went in 85, they went again in like the
mhm.
early 2000s. But Dallas Cowboys haven't won since 94, 95. Like it's hard to get to a Super Bowl, but
No, I'm not saying that.
the
I'm
first
not
thing you need
saying
to do is get to the playoffs
I'm not saying
to
that
have a
that
chance.
the expectation is that he should, be winning that he needs to get Super Bowl every single season. But you haven't won a playoff game in a while.
Right.
And I have to I have to look at that because, like I said, I can't put every team, every organization in the same category because they're simply not. Like Arizona, I'm not going to put them in the same conversation as I would with the Steelers or with the Bills or with the Chiefs. You know what I mean? There's different levels to it depending on who you are, what you've accomplished, who your coach is, and things of that nature. Some franchises are historic. They have a huge fan base. Some have fans who are kind of wishy washy. Like it's just different things that
Mm-hmm.
go on. But for the Steelers, I'm talking about specifically. Like I said, I'm the kind of person. I think sometimes like I said before, we get afraid of moving forward because we're afraid that what's over or what's behind door number 2 is going to be worse than what's behind door number 1. So let
Yeah,
me just stay
usually it
here
is.
where it's comfortable because I don't know if it's going to be worse over there. And I'm not necessarily happy here. It's comfortable. I know and I'm familiar with it. I know what I'm going to get from it. But I'm not getting what I want in this totality. But for the sake of being comfortable and not wanting to move forward because I don't want to mess it up, I don't want to be alone or make a mistake, I'm just going to stay. And if you do that throughout your life, like you're never going to win like that. At some point, you got to make a change and be okay with whatever happens with the results.
Yeah, those historic franchises, only really two. I mean, you can, if you want to throw the Cowboys in there, you can say that's three, the Cowboys, but it's the Steelers and the 49ers. This is where your Super Bowls at.
And Jerry and
Multiple.
his foolishness gets in the way of them winning. Because
Right,
he always
right.
gets talent in there. They've
Yeah,
had
but he
great
can't get the
coaches
right coaching now. And then when you had a right
because
coaching
he
now,
wants to be the coach. That's the
right,
problem. Like,
right,
shush.
exactly,
You hire me for a job. Let me do
right.
said job.
And he's had quality head coaches. He had coaches that I would consider top five. And
Uh-huh.
instead of letting them coach a team and do what they do,
Hmm.
he has to have the credit. So he let those
Yeah.
guys go. When you have a top head coach, you don't let those guys go. You just stick it out because you
But especially if you're
understand,
winning.
right? You understand it. Winning the Super Bowl ain't promised to nobody. It's
True.
very difficult to win a Super Bowl. I mean, Don Shula, one of the greatest head coaches the league has ever seen. He got to the Super Bowl the first year with Dan Marino, and he
Hmm.
never seen the Super Bowl again. And this is a coach
Can't
who
take it for
coached a
granted, that's for
perfect
sure.
season. You can never take it for granted,
Yep.
but you need to have a head coach that if you know he can give you a chance. And when I say give you a chance, if he can make the playoffs, if I can make the playoffs, I have a chance. But we talked about it earlier.
Hmm.
The NFL, your window is always short because you're always an injury away from it
Hmm.
closing like that.
Yeah.
So if you got a head coach who can get you damn near to the playoffs every year, then that increases your opportunities of winning the Super Bowl as
Hmm.
opposed to I'm moving on from this guy. I'm gonna get another head coach who might be good. He might can find another good coach. Or he could not be good, and now I can be in a spiral of looking for a head coach, looking for another head coach, looking for another head coach, which Pittsburgh doesn't do that. They've only had 3 head coaches in the whole history of the franchise.
Send him to Cleveland. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, can't on to go. Well, I mean, now that they got, it looked like they might have some at the quarterback
We're
position
gonna
up
go
there.
ahead and switch. That was the last topic of
Send
the
to
day.
Cleveland.
And I had to save it for the best topic of the day, you guys. I had to save the best for last because Shedeur Sanders, okay, he will be the starting QB for the rest of the season, you guys. They made the announcement. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Parties up. Hit your dance moves. All right. I'm so happy. I really, really am. What did you think about Shadeur's performance yesterday on watching the game?
I thought he showed a lot of improvement. He played
Mhm.
well. He played well. I mean, he made a few mistakes. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he'd like to get back.
That's to be expected though.
The
Yeah.
passing percentage wasn't high, but he made some clutch throws. He made some big plays. I mean, he ran a touchdown. He threw
Hmm.
3 more touchdowns. The touchdown to Fannin, that was clutch. That was a big
Hmm.
play. I like to see that. And I thought after last game, I was like, even though they played Tennessee, who's not
Hmm.
good,
The defense was
um,
pretty decent yesterday. I haven't
yeah,
watched
yeah,
every I haven't watched every Tennessee game, but the defense was pretty decent.
yeah, like I said, Tennessee defense ain't no slouch. It's just the offense
Hmm.
doesn't help the defense most times because Cam Ward and the offense has trouble putting up points most time, even though Pollard ran the lights out the ball yesterday. But I think Kevin Stefanski did the right thing by just going ahead and naming him the starter for the rest of the season.
You
And
think it was
see,
Kevin Stefanski's choice or it came from
yeah,
higher up?
I think it was. Well, I don't know. We'll get the real story. Like I
Hmm.
said, the tea leaves starting to fall, but right now they're saying it was Kevin Stefanski's decision. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I'll give him credit until they tell me otherwise. I don't like to speculate and do all that type of thing. I just like to go with the report say.
Hmm.
And until they come out and say somebody else made the decision, Kevin Stefanski made the call, and he likes what Shedeur has been doing. And reports have been coming out that him and Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur have been working together the whole season, overtime, extra.
Hmm.
He been invested in him. So I think it's positive that Shador is starting, and he'll get to play some real teams going forward, and they'll get to make a decision on whether or not they need to keep on developing him, or if they need to go into the draft and take a quarterback going forward. So we're gonna get to see what he's made up going forward. But I like the progress that he made yesterday. He looked like a real quarterback yesterday.
Reading Jay's
But they
comment real
got
quick.
tough
I
games coming
officially,
up. Oh my gosh.
huh?
I'm saying Shador has some tough games coming up. He got to go to
Oh,
Chicago. You got Buffalo. You got Pittsburgh. And then you get to finish up with the Bengals, who their season might be over at that time. So in the next 3 weeks, we're going to see what we got.
yeah. I will look when they play the Bills. Yeah, I know how I feel about Josh. Okay, so I'll be cheering for both sides in that game. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Um, but I officially retired from a Cowboys fan. I'm taking my talents to Cleveland. Oh, really, Dre? You let the Cowboys when they still have a little chance. They have a little chance to catch the
Man,
Eagles.
that's
You gonna
wild
jump
right
ship
there.
now, Dre? Oh, come on, Dre. You
That's
can't do
wild
that.
right there. I applaud him for that. I applaud him for, that move that he making. I mean, Cowboy fans are usually some of the most delusional diehard fans that you'll
Cause he ain't no
ever.
diehard Cowboy fan. That's why.
Right. He can't be. I think he's a bigger Shador fan than he is a Cowboys fan, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate that. So, hey,
but
shouts out to him, man, for that.
going back to Shador's performance yesterday, like you said, just piggyback off a little bit. Um, I saw progress again from the first week when he came in there, obviously unprepared, to the second first official, whole game NFL started, and then obviously against the Titans. I actually thought he outplayed Cam, in terms of just individual performance. Um, and I haven't watched every one of Cam's games, so I thought I'm not saying I thought Cam was bad. I thought Cam got the ball up very quickly. Thought he was confident. Thought he was decisive. And there are moments where I want Shador to be more decisive. I'm like, dude, like sometimes there were times where he was like, I see him scrambling, trying to figure it out. Okay, he's like, who's open? Who's okay, come this way? No, I can't go that way. Let me go this way. And then by the time he decides to run, they're like, boom, knocking him down. And then that
Right.
play is dead, So I just want him to be a little more decisive, but that will come obviously with more experience and as time goes. But overall, 364 yards, I believe. I love the fact that he ran that touchdown in because they were, they were pulling on him. He's kind of spin, went to the side, he's pulling the jersey. I was like, go ahead, Shador. I was here going crazy on live cheering for him. So I was so happy, excited for him. And then I like the fact that he redeemed himself, not for the sake of like people or for the team, but I think it was for himself. Because after that interception, I feel like his confidence kind of shook a little bit watching the game. There was some plays after that. I was like, oh man, I'm like, Shador, get it
Right.
back, get it back, get it back. Don't worry about it. Next play, get it back. And then he did. I love the fact that I said, you know what? The game is about to end. Win or lose, Shador, he gotta redeem himself. Because I don't want to hear what they're gonna say about him if he don't. And that he did. He went down back to back, got him in the end zone. So you agree with not the first I'm also at the first 2-point conversion. I didn't think it made sense there. You could just kick the field goal, and then your defense has been getting stops, and then get back out there and then try to tie the game. I don't think he need to go for the 2-point conversion there at all. But then the second time you took Shador out, I understand that he had messed up before, but I'm like, he had the hot hand. Like he had the hot hand. At this point, if you don't get to a conversion, you're gonna lose anyway. Let him just finish the game out. Quinshaw looked like he didn't know what the heck the play was. I mean, he looked confused. And then he got the ball back. He's looking over here. He stops. And then he throws it. I'm like, did y'all practice that at all? Was
No,
that
that
like an
wasn't the
on the
play.
fly
He was supposed
thing?
to hand it. He was supposed to hand it back off. It was supposed to be a double reverse, but the play got blowed up by Tennessee defense. So once it got blowed up, he just tried to make something out of nothing, knowing that it was desperation
Mm-hmm.
mode, and you
So
definitely
you
need
agree with
that
that
2
decision
points.
to take Shador out in that moment?
I wish they would have kept him in, but it really doesn't matter. I think Cleveland is not really interested in winning football games right now.
Mm-hmm.
They interested in developing a quarterback, but in a situation like that, I'm not saying they didn't want to win the football game. I think they were trying to be too cute, and I don't necessarily like that. I would prefer they would just hand it off and let the man run straight up the middle, and either he got it or he didn't.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I
agree
would have
with that.
preferred to
Yep.
happen. You know, but yeah, I just they could have did better. I think Cam didn't play great yesterday, but he didn't play terrible either. You know, he was playing against a tougher defense. So I don't look at
They weren't really
um
touching him though.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, he only got one sack. I think Miles Garrett got one sack
he
yesterday,
did.
which was huge because
Because
Cam
they were on Miles. They were like,
right
no,
because
anybody else gonna beat us but you on this defense, but it's not gonna be you today.
right. Most games I watch, Cam hits the turf a lot. You know, he's
Mm.
one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And yesterday, they was able to protect him pretty well. He was able. I mean, he
They
seemed more
were.
motivated to play. Um, but I don't look at the numbers and say one guy played better than the other because they're not both playing against the same defense. One's getting played against one of the best defenses in Miles Garrett. And one of them is playing against a good, middle of the pack defense. So the numbers, and one has better wide receivers and weapons than the other one. Cam Newton. I mean, Cam has nothing. They got to do something. They got to put. He needs two wide receivers. I mean,
You
Eliamor.
don't like Spears, you don't like Pollard?
Well, these are running backs. They solid. They're solid running backs.
They're
And
still
and
weapons
Pollard,
now.
yeah. But I mean, I'm saying he's a quarterback. Quarterbacks want to pass the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and they drafted a young receiver this year who might develop and end up being that guy. But they need
Mm-hmm.
another wide receiver, and they could use another tight end. And the offensive line, you still got to add another piece on the offensive line to help protect your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Tennessee has their guy. I think Cam Ward is their guy. I just look at his mechanics. I look at how he spins the ball. He's the guy for them. So
Mm-hmm.
another off season, and then you add more weapons around, and you improve the defense a little bit. I think Tennessee is on the uphill trajectory. They can't be any worse than they were this year, next year. So,
That's true.
um,
2
yeah, but
wins. Yeah.
yeah. I think the 2-point conversion could have been a different play call.
I wish they would
But
let Shador like like finish the game. Whether they won the game or he didn't, I'm like he had the hot hand. Like he showed you. I think in those moments that he could be trusted. I would just left him in. Like just leave him and let him finish it. Win or lose. Because if you don't get it, you're gonna lose anyway.
yeah,
Whether
it's
Shador
almost
is in
like
there or whether he's not. You know what I mean?
yeah,
At this point, you got to get 2 points. There's no way around it.
yeah.
So I will let him finish it.
Well, Tommy Reese calls the plays, and they're gonna keep Tommy Reese because he's been doing a decent job. But
Oh no, Kevin Stefanski said he made the call.
yeah, and he probably did make the call, and I think Kevin Stefanski made the call to
He
protect
said
Shador.
everything comes through me. That was
Yeah,
my
I
call.
think I think Kevin Stefanski probably made that call to protect Shador, and he was more willing to take the blame and take responsibility if it didn't work than he
Mm-hmm.
would have if he would have put it on his rookie quarterback and it didn't work out. And the Shador naysayers would have said, "See, he can't get." Kevin Stefanski said, "This is on me. I called the play. It didn't work. That's on me." And he take the
Mm-hmm.
heat. So that's just another sign of a good head coach to me, and I like it. I like the
So
relationship
you
that
think
he's
he did it
building
to
with
protect
Shador.
Shador? I think
I think it's
you
I
smoking
think
that
it's
Stefanski pack.
no, I
I
think it's
feel you though.
possible that I mean that makes sense to me because I've seen coaches do that type of thing to protect young quarterbacks in the
Mm-hmm.
past, and they just and definitely if they feel like they have some sort of job security, then
Uh-oh.
he'll say, hey, it's on me.
Trey said he ain't no good coach.
It's
No
okay.
good
I
head
mean, when you
coach.
win 2 NFL Coach of the Years in Cleveland, then I just don't like to believe a guy can win the Coach of the Year twice, not once but twice in Cleveland and not be a good head coach. And Stefanski is another one of those guys. If the Cleveland Browns decide to fire Kevin Stefanski tomorrow, he'll have the job the next day. He'll probably be the
A
Giants
lot
head
of them
coach.
do. I mean,
He'll,
Matt Eberflus got a job.
right. No, Everflu's got a coordinator job. I'm talking about a
He
head
still got a
coaching job.
job, and to me, he shouldn't have
Yeah. I
one at
mean, they'll
all.
all get a job. Mike McDaniels get fired from Miami. He'll be an offensive coordinator somewhere. I'm saying if Kevin Stefanski got
Into
fired
the
today,
Eagles, they could use him.
right? If Kevin Stefanski got fired today, he'll be a head coach tomorrow for the Giants or some other team that he chooses based on the quarterback that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and because coaches like that just don't become available too often. I mean, I was surprised that, and Tennessee is learning this lesson now. When Tennessee fired Mike Vrabel, I was like, what are you doing? You have
Mm-hmm.
one of the best head coaches in the league. And now they're finna be on their third head coach already since Mike Vrabel. And look at Mike Vrabel. He 1 year in New England and they won 10 straight. You don't let go of
It's
good
also
head coaches once you
it's
have
also
them.
the personnel you have there as well. It's not just okay, like he went there and just turned it around. It's the quarterback. It's the defense. It's quite a few things that have obviously helped move that train. But
You know, Mike Vrabel was
I think
winning
him
with
and Ben
Mike
Johnson
Tannehill.
are coach in the conversation for coach of the year. I'm not sure who's gonna get it, but I think it's gonna be Mike. If I had to choose, I think it's gonna be Mike because Drake May's in an MVP conversation. So I would think it
Yeah.
would be Mike.
Yeah. And you look at what New England was last year. Yeah. I think Mike Vrabel. But Ben Johnson definitely has to be a candidate because he's turned the Chicago Bears around at the same time.
Yeah, he has. I just think the record Drake May being in the MVP conversation, obviously along with Matthew Stafford, I think will give him the edge. And they've been like just back to back wins just all the way through, So
Right.
past 10, 11 games, I believe, right now. So I think that will give him a slight edge, but we shall see. They got to play the Bills again this weekend. That Bills defense, I don't know. So we'll see if they're able to pull it out.
Josh can be Superman though, and he has been Superman.
He has been, yeah.
And Joe Burrow's gifted you a couple picks this week, including one of the worst pick sixes I've ever seen. So, I mean, those are the breaks, and the breaks went in the Bills' favor this week. So that's a good thing.
So I hope someone next week though. They play the Patriots again, so we shall see.
It's gonna be tough.
Because then we're gonna see Stephon Diggs again. He be kind of quiet in the rest of them games. When he played the Bills, you're gonna get a 200 rushing yards game from him.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. If he'll do nothing else, is when he's gonna show up and show his best. But nevertheless, Kevin Stefanski, I still don't think that he likes Shador. I've been said that. I think he tolerates him. It's not. I'm not going about anybody else now. I'm looking from what I see.
Yeah,
it's not from what I've heard.
Yeah, about the reports. All the reports say even Shador came out and said, "Y'all need to stop that."
What is he going to say though? What is he going to say realistically? He's not going to come out there and say.
Now, see, people keep changing the narrative about Shador. They say
I don't know who people. I'm talking about Kaja, so I'm going to speak for me.
All of a sudden, he don't speak at high deals.
I'm speaking for me. When I speak, I don't speak for the people. I'm speaking for Kaja. Okay. So for me, I don't. What is Shador going to say? Remember, Shador was miming in the media. He was. And I look at the quarterback play around the league. I know I could do better than that. But he was killed for what he was saying. I could tell now he's got some PR training, or someone's been in his ear, like, okay, this is what you say when they ask you questions. You know what I mean? So something happened somewhere along because he made a huge shift, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I love to see it, but. How does he look out there and saying, "Oh, Shador, what do you think about the coach's decision to pull you out for the 2-point conversion?" I thought it was bad. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was stupid. Well, honestly, I thought that he should have kept me in. I wish that he would have gave me a chance. I don't like the fact that he took the chance away out of my hands. Like, he's gonna say the right thing. Now, whether or not he believes it is a different question. But in front of the cameras, like you gotta be professional. You gotta say the right thing. So, in terms of what happens between them behind closed doors, I don't know. And maybe it's just Kevin Stefanski's face. Maybe he's just one of those, no expression, very monotone, kind of people, kind of coaches. Some coaches are more animated.
It really is not important. Coach and quarterback relationship is not important at all. You don't have
I think it is, and I don't think that. I don't think he likes. I think he tolerates him, and that's just how I feel about it. It's not about reports from different people. I don't believe it's because I read something that means that it's the Bible. It's the gospel, because you could put anything in a report.
Yeah, but these people are credible reporters. They do this for a living. They don't have a job they have if they
You don't know what they're being paid to put in the media.
No, I'm saying I've been around.
You don't actually know.
No, I mean I've been around long enough to know which reporters to look at and which reporters not to look at. Mary Kay Cabot is the gospel in Cleveland. Whatever she say, it's the truth. You can book it, or else she wouldn't be Mary Kay Cabot. She's one of the most respected reporters in all of the NFL because she's gonna tell you how it is. She's not gonna show.
I don't know her personally. I put nothing past no one.
I've been around for a long time. I know which writers who follow the teams, who in the teams, who get the information.
You know them personally, or you just happen to believe if you believe what they put in writing.
Yeah, when you have a reputation at the high regard, like a Mary Kay Cabot, like a Calvin Watson, like a Ed Werder, when you got a reputation like these people, you don't sit here. You're not finna diminish your reputation
A
because
lot
you
of
have a
people have
bunch of
reputations that come to
yeah,
find out they
yeah,
should
those
not
people
have
in the
had.
media, yeah,
So
those people
I'm
in the
not
media.
gonna do that.
I don't listen to those people in the media. I listen to real
No, I'm
reporters.
saying from a general standpoint, you can have reputation or persona that we look at as up here, and sometimes, not every time, come to find out that person was not who we thought, and they're back down here, as things get exposed. So I don't know her
Yeah, I
personally. Obviously,
understand.
I've heard about her being the gospel as it pertains to
Yeah,
Cleveland
and there's
Browns, and
other
if you want to
reporters.
know
I mean,
anything, to
if
go through
if
her. But
if you got
I'm not going
five
to put anything
reporters,
past her. But I
right?
wasn't even talking about the reports. I was
If
talking
you
about.
got three, if you got three or more reporters that are reporting the same thing, then chances are, okay, there's some validity there.
It depends on
I
what you
don't,
believe. I don't just because
I don't
you tell
think.
me something, I don't believe it. It's because you write
Yeah,
doesn't mean I
I know.
believe
We
it.
pick and choose what we believe because some reports we do want to go with. We want to say, see this with it. So I mean, I guess we pick and choose. I don't pick and choose. I just
It
follow
depends on
credible
what
sources.
I,
I just follow
I
credible
don't
sources.
know. I
And
don't know who.
once I deemed you a credible source, like I said, I've been doing this for over
Mhm,
20 years. So the sources I go with are sources I've been following for at least 15, 20 years. These
mhm,
are not new people who got in the game who have to
mhm.
build up that reputation. I follow people that I know when it comes out,
That you believe.
right, and then it always comes out because I keep telling you the real story gonna come out. They're gonna do a real
You're
story in a year
absolutely
or two.
right. And until
Okay,
the
and then when the
actual, and
reports
even when the
add up,
story comes out, I don't know if
right?
it's going to be the real story because
Oh, it's
I
gonna be
wasn't
the
in the
real
building for
story because you got
myself,
lawsuits. You can't just put
and
anything out.
I don't
You
know
can be
anybody in
sued
the
for
building.
libel. You can get sued for libel. You just can't put anything out and it's not the truth. When Seth Wickersham put out that story about the Patriots, everything he said was the truth. And if it wasn't the truth, he would have just got sued and he wouldn't be Seth Wickersham no more. He wouldn't have a job. You can't play around with that. These them spots, those are jobs that people once they get, you got to stay there. And the only way
Mhm.
you stay there is to have integrity. If you don't have integrity, you got no
I don't
chance
think
to
there's a
be
lot of
around.
integrity, period, right now when it comes to sports media. I think a
No,
lot of people
that's not
are looking
they
for.
yeah, but
I
that's
I don't know. I'm
media.
talking about me,
That's
so not you,
yeah.
Kaja.
I'm saying that's
I don't
I
think there's a
agree
lot
with
of
you on
integrity
media.
at all. I mean, in terms of
I
sports media and as a
I
whole.
agree with you
I
on
think
media.
people are, looking, for their headline, looking to be not the next best thing, but to be
Yeah,
so I say focal point. What's
you're
the word I'm
right.
looking for? So
I
for
feel
me, I
you.
don't put anything past anybody. But this
Yeah,
was the
I don't
conversation
pay
about the
attention to the
media. I
media.
was talking about Kevin Stefanski, and I don't go by what people say. I always use my own brain and my
Right.
own mind. And what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have
I
seen
don't.
from him
I
throughout
mean,
this
all we
season,
got to go off is
I'm
report.
just
We don't
like,
go off the reports, then we know nothing. We just. It's all speculation if we don't go off
again, so
reports.
for me, because like I said, I get you. You want to believe what you read. That's more power to you.
That's
In
all we can
terms of
go off
Kevin
of.
Stefanski, because I'm talking about what responding to what Dre said in the comments about about Kevin Stefanski, because that's what we were talking about before we got to the whole report,
Right.
everything. When it comes to him, body language says a lot. I don't know if everybody reads body language, but I do. Body language is about 70%, 80% of communication, and when it comes to the body language, there is something there. I don't know what that something
Does
is.
everybody have the same body
Um,
language?
but everybody has body language.
I said,
Everybody.
does everybody have the same body language?
No, of course not. But
Well,
I'm not talking about
how do you
everybody.
know
We're
his
talking
body
about
language?
Right now. We're talking about Kevin Stefanski and Shador.
Right.
So if we're talking about those two, we're not talking about everybody in the world. I'm not talking about your body
Right.
language,
I'm
my
saying,
mom's
so
body
you know
language.
Kevin
I'm talking
Stefanski body
about them
language and
too.
what it says.
Huh?
You
Say
know
it again.
Kevin Stefanski's body language and what his body language says.
I just said there's something there. I said I don't know
Oh,
what it
okay.
is.
All right.
So because you cutting me off and let me finish my sentence because you
Go
want to
ahead.
defend him, and
No,
that's
no, I'm
fine.
saying
You know
because
what I mean?
it don't make
Um,
sense.
it does for me. It don't have to for
Okay.
you.
All
And
right.
when I see him, when he talks about Shador, I'm like, there's something that's off there. I don't know what it is. Now, obviously, he's a head coach. He's going to be professional to a certain extent. He's not going to come out and say
Mhm.
anything crazy and reckless because obviously it'll be his job and it'll be a complete uproar, But there's something there. For me, I get a coach that's doing what he has to do. But I think if he had his way, DG would still be in the driver's seat. And I don't think it's just because he went in the third round. Honestly speaking, I don't get someone who believes in Shador, and I don't think that he honestly seems to. I don't think he likes him, And it could be personality. It could be that he thinks Dylan Gabriel has better strengths or better attributes that he might like in the quarterback because every head coach is different in terms of what they like. For me, something's just off. I don't know what it is. Shador's not going to tell it because he's still there. He'll be a fool to come out there and say anything crazy,
Yeah.
disrespectful because he wants to play. at this point, he's like, I'm playing, I'm happy, I'm not saying nothing wrong at all. I'm gonna say all the right things now forward because I'm in the driver's seat and I don't want to go back to the passenger seat. So I get where he's at. But from Kevin, like I said,
Wait a minute. You just said Stefanski didn't make decisions. Stefanski didn't make this decision. Then Shador don't got to worry about what he like, what he think. Just say what you gonna say.
He's not gonna do that though. You can't do that. You can't come out there and just say whatever. You can't. You can't do that.
Be consistent with what we're talking about.
I am talking about the same thing. Right? I'm talking about how I feel. I don't think Kevin Stefanski likes Shador. Right. Shador's job is to be professional, whether he thinks he likes him or not, and say the right things. There's two different conversations. Whether or not he knows he don't like him or he feels like he doesn't, or that BFS behind the scenes. He cannot come out there in front of the media and trash that head coach. He cannot do it.
No, he can't do it. He wouldn't do it.
So exactly. So he has to say the right things and smile and be, charismatic and funny and, show a nice personality and things. Oh, he's humble. He's this because you want to be inviting. So he has to do that.
When all the reports are saying that him and Kevin Stefanski working overtime. He been working extra with Shador. All this kind of stuff. Like, if I don't like you, why am I doing this? Why am I spending extra time with you?
That's because you believe that, though. I don't know if that's true.
With you, why am I doing all this? I know you don't really believe in reports from credible reporters, but
I don't believe in everything because you can put anything in writing.
Well, yeah.
Jimmy Haslam has a lot of money. Whatever he wants reports to be, he can make that so.
That's not how it works. Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones got a lot of money.
I don't know Mary.
Dallas Cowboys reporters, even if they got to criticize Jerry Jones, they do it because their integrity is the most. They don't get paid enough money to sell out their integrity, and that is what people have to understand. This is why we.
I'm here for the bubble that you want to be in, where you think that everybody, just because they write, that they have to be these great integral people. I don't rock with that.
Okay,
but I feel you if you do.
Let me say he don't like Shador. Let's just go with that narrative. Let's say he don't like Shador.
I think he tolerates him.
Okay, I don't care if he likes Shador or not. It's not important that the head coach and the quarterback have a great relationship. The best quarterback and head coach tandem I ever seen was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They won 6 Super Bowls together and didn't talk to each other outside of that building. They didn't like each other. They didn't have a good relationship together. The head coach job is to coach the team. You got quarterback coaches, you got offensive coordinators, you got wide receiver coach, you got a running back coach, you got a linebacker coach. More people are coaching the quarterback, in this case, Tom Brady, for this example, than Belichick is. At the end of the day, they don't have to like each other. Belichick.
That's your opinion. Because they don't have to get along.
Belichick told him, "I'm ready to get rid of Tom Brady. I got this other guy who I want to be the quarterback going forward." Tom Brady had to go to the owner and cry to the owner for him to stay that extra year, and then he stayed that extra year. And then Belichick got his way and got rid of Tom Brady because he don't give a damn about Tom Brady. He's just a player. He's player number 12. And that's how most teams operate. Most teams, head coaches and the quarterback don't have a buddy relationship like that.
And I've heard plenty of foreign players say that they should get along. They should have a good relationship.
Yeah, but you didn't win.
It depends on how you feel.
I'd rather go with the guy who won 6 Super Bowls with his head coach and say, okay, that's a winning formula for me. Like, you can like your head coach if y'all ain't winning Super Bowls.
I've never been in the NFL, so I'm not going to tell people like how things should go in the locker room and how everybody. I don't. But I know, for example, I've heard Damian Woody say like your quarterback and your head coach, that has to be a good relationship.
He was talking
about Caleb and he was talking about Ben Johnson. He wasn't even talking about Shador.
Woody played in New England. See, this is why I don't listen to old media guys, because the old media guys are entertainers. You played in New England with.
It wasn't an intimate conversation. He was talking about quarterbacks and about the head coach. It wasn't an intimate conversation.
He played in New England,
and he's just one person. Like there are others.
He didn't play nowhere else. He played in New England with Tom Brady and Belichick, and he didn't.
And that could be why he said what he said, because he saw what he saw.
6 Super Bowls.
That isn't, but he was also inside that locker room. So his opinion and how he feels about it could stem from what he saw that happened between those two.
But
we don't know because we weren't there.
Ain't lining up with his experience. Your experience.
You can't say that though. You can't say that because you're not him.
Understand the relationship that Belichick and Tom Brady had. So, and Daniel Woody played
him being there inside the locker room, actually being there, His
Yeah, but
perspective can be, I was there with
run the locker
Tom and
room.
with Bill, and what he took from that situation, because he has the front row to it. He could say, you know what, I was there when it didn't look a certain way, and I believe that going forward, a relationship works best if you have this and that. That's his
Yeah, you can
opinion to
say that.
say.
You
I
can
can't
say
tell
that,
that
but
man who was there in the locker
they
room
won
that he
6
shouldn't
Super
feel like that.
Bowls.
That doesn't mean that he's not entitled to feel how
So
he feels
yeah,
about
you
that
can feel how you want
relationship.
to feel. You can feel
Like,
how
he
you
was
want to feel,
there.
but
I
but
sound foolish saying, "No, what,
he
Damien, you're
sounds
wrong.
foolish
You
saying what he
shouldn't feel
said
like that." But you
when
know, I
his
wasn't
experience
there.
gonna back that up. Okay, you can have a good relationship with your quarterback, but if y'all don't win those Super Bowls, how am I gonna say that's a better situation than a head coach and a quarterback who didn't get along, but they won 6 Super Bowls?
But it
Like,
also
come
depends
on,
on
bro.
the
Like, that's
level
not
of
your experience.
professionalism as
That's
well.
why I
You
can't
have
listen to those
people,
guys.
who listen, who have worked with people who never got along. You never heard about it until
Right,
years on actor sets, all kind of different things. It also depends on the individual that you're dealing with. Some
right.
people are really intelligent. They're professional enough to be able to just work with you and be able to still do
Yes,
their job at a high level.
that's it.
But that
When
is
you're in the
not
NFL,
everybody. That's not
it's big boy
everybody.
football.
That's
NFL is
not.
big boy football. You go out there, you be professional, and you do your job. That's why Michael Penix earlier this season, they did a press conference and he was talking about. They said, "Where do you go when
Mhm.
you struggling? Where you get your release?" And he was like, "My high school coach, my old throwing quarterback." And
Mhm.
Raheem Morris took a lot of heat because the average fan believes that Michael Penix and Raheem Morris is supposed to have this buddy relationship, and they had to come out and everybody, even you don't give them no credit, but I just so haven't watched Nightcap to go sleep, and Shannon Sharp done brought it up, and Shannon Sharp was like, "This the NFL, you professional. The head coach ain't finna hold your hand. Like, you don't have that type of relationship." That's just not how I go. He talked about his quarterback with Mike
Shannon Sharp was a
Shanahan
different generation as
yeah,
well.
Mike Shanahan and John Elway. Like, that's just, and they won Super Bowl. They won multiple Super Bowls. Like, you don't
We
have to
don't.
have
The
a
generations now do not have the same mindset and the same maturity and the same tenacity and a whole bunch of other things that they had back in the day.
right.
So
So you
how
think Mike
things were,
Vrabel and Drake May a buddy?
I don't know what. I
It's
haven't heard anything about
impossible.
them at all.
Talking
I don't
about
know
a
what. I don't know what goes on in that
55-year-old
locker room.
man
I
and a
really don't know.
22-year-old quarterback. They don't have nothing coming. We're gonna come in this locker room. We're gonna put this game plan together. Go out and execute the plays that we run. I
When
got
I
to
say
coach
a
the
good
whole team.
relationship, I mean in terms of being professional, be able to talk to one
That's
another, things
it.
like that.
Yes, that's it.
I don't mean like being BFFs. Like, let's go out to
Right,
dinner tomorrow night. You want to
right.
come over and watch a movie on a day off? I'm not talking about that. I'm not
Well,
talking about
everybody in
best
the
friends.
building is gonna be
That's what I'm talking about.
professional. Everybody in the
Everybody's not
building
professional.
on every team, everybody in the building is gonna be professional, or they won't be there.
Everyone's not professional. Everyone's not.
Then you won't be there. You're not gonna have a
Everyone should
job.
be professional. Everyone's
You're
not
not.
professional on
Yeah, you're
every
not
single
going. You're
team.
right. You know who wasn't a professional? Brian Daboll, and he got fired because he was too close to his quarterback. You gotta go, bro. This is the
He got
NFL.
fired because he put him in harm's way, not because he
Yes,
was close
because he
to
was
him.
too close to him. He was going in the blue tent, checking on him when he had concussions. Like, that's a bad look. You're not supposed to be like that with
He
your
wanted to save his
quarterback.
job.
Just
That's what that
yes,
was
and
about.
what happened? Did he save his
It,
job?
it wasn't about him and the old boy being close. That was a means to an end. He was trying to save his job. He knew they
Yeah,
didn't
he
want
didn't
Russ
save his
out there.
job.
He knew they did not want Russ out there. They wanted Jackson. He was like, "Oh my God!" Russ came. Jackson got hurt. Russ came in. The Bulls started going crazy. He knows that Indiana Jones is lighting it up over there and with the Colts.
Right.
And we saw Saquon win last year and everything else. And he's like, "Oh man, like I know I'm on that hot seat. It's hot." So he's trying
Yeah.
to what he do is save his job. And honestly, I believe that he got fired because he put Jackson in harm's way
He
trying to save
did.
his job.
Right. That's the problem. You
And I said
can't
that was
put
going to be a problem when Jackson
right.
first came in.
That's my point. He got fired because he tried to save his job by getting too close to the quarterback.
I don't think he was trying to get close. I think he was trying to save his job. That's two
you were
different things
willing
to
to
me.
yeah, he was willing to put his quarterback in harm's way because
For self-preservation, that's not being close.
don't right, but he would have probably saved his job if he would have not put his quarterback in harm's way and did what was best for his quarterback instead of trying to use your quarterback to save your job. Now this kid is could be damaged goods. He's already had 4 concussions
Well, that's also a little bit on Jackson because they've had the conversations with him about being reckless, and he's like, "If you saw me play in college, this is how I've been. This is how I've always been." Right now, he's kind of stubborn, where he wants to play how he wants to play.
Right.
Hopefully, at some point, he'll learn, but that's also on him because they have been talking to him about it. So either going to bench him and put Jameson in there or somebody else because it's not going to be Russ, or they're going to let the young boy go out and do what he does.
No, they're not gonna do that. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna get a real head coach who Jackson Dart is gonna have to be subordinate to. They're gonna get a head coach who's not his best friend, who's his head coach. Because this is big boy football.
Brian wasn't his best friend. Brian was trying to save his job.
Yeah, I'm saying he gonna get a head coach who ain't worried about saving his job. And that way
well, the thing is, the new coach won't have to worry about that because he's brand new coming in there, so he won't have that same heat on his back.
So he's not going to put Jackson Dart in harm's way because he's not worried about saving his job.
But Jackson also has to be responsible as well, and I like Jackson.
If he's not responsible, that head coach is going to have the power to tell him to come over here, stand right by me on the sideline. I got somebody else who's going to go in and play.
Yeah, I doubt any head coach is going to come in and bench him. I don't see that happening.
I mean, if he doesn't
we'll see.
Right, you don't do what's necessary. I mean, I didn't think that the coach was gonna bench Anthony Richardson, but their head coach has enough power where he could say, you know what?
I saw that coming.
Come over here and stand by me. I'm gonna throw this other guy who been terrible these last 4 years. I'm gonna get him a shot because you're not gonna do what I need you to do, and I don't care about you like that. You are player number 5.
That was after. That was after a couple of seasons. That wasn't right away. But I feel you.
Right.
I don't see, like I said, because we go on someplace else, you know what I mean, in terms of Jackson Dart and everything else. We're talking about Shedeur.
My whole point is, I think Kevin Stefanski is okay with Shedeur, but it's not important that you the head coach a team. Shedeur got to be a professional. And
when I say relationship, I feel like the lines are misconstrued. When I say professional relationship, or when I say close relationship, I don't mean in terms of being BFFs. Like I call you if I'm having a bad day, my girlfriend dumped me. Let me call you and talk to you about my heartbreak, coach. Give me some advice about life. You know what I mean? And from that standpoint, no. Being my second dad. I mean, in terms of being able to communicate with one another, be able to talk to one another. You know, if I feel like, okay, sometimes, you know, like if you have a question about something that you did in the game, like feeling comfortable enough to talk to your coach and him be willing to listen to you. Like, I don't even know how true this is, but they were talking about different example, but similar in terms of like relationship. When it came to Ty Lue and Chris Paul, and he tried to talk to him, but Ty Lue was like, "No, I don't want to talk to you." For a few weeks, it was just silence. You know what I mean? Like it could be a complete lie, but if it is true, that wasn't going to work, obviously, long term. This is the head coach. Like, if you want a team, there got to be some sort of communication. Something has to be there. It can't just be silent.
Do you believe the reports, or you just going to speculate and come up with your own belief on that matter?
No, I said, well, look, I said I wasn't there. That's why I said if it is true, that's what I'm saying when I say in terms of relationship. Like, to being professional enough to have to know be able to have certain conversations, even if things are uncomfortable. You know, like something went wrong or something. I want a different kind of play call or whatever it may be. We don't have to know about it as the public, but being able to have that, be able to go into his office and talk to your coach. That's what I mean when I say relationship. I'm not talking about being BFFs.
Right. Yeah. And clearly Tyronn Lue didn't want to talk to Chris Paul. So is Tyronn Lue not professional? Is he not a good coach now? Because he didn't want to talk to Chris Paul?
That was, if that is true, I don't think it was professional. I don't know what the hell Chris Paul did. I really don't know what he did.
I guess it's based on whether we want to listen to the reports or not. You want to listen to the reports. Chris Paul wasn't all that professional. So
exactly. So I said I don't know what he did.
Right.
I don't know what he did. Like maybe he did something that really pissed Ty Lue off, and he said, "I'm done with you. I don't even want to be bothered." I don't know.
You can go off is what's been reported. And if you're not going to go off what's been reported, then you'll never know what's going on in no sport ever.
But that wasn't my point, though. My point was talking about the professionsionalism. That's all.
Right. But we don't know who was professional or not. If we don't
I don't need to. I'm just talking about being professional because we all, as adults, we know what being professional is.
My whole point is we cannot sit here and say Kevin Stefanski has not been professional with Shedeur if we don't want to go off any reports that are made ever. And whether it goes against that, if it goes
I didn't
with
say he wasn't professional. I said I think he tolerates Shedeur. That's what I said. I didn't say he wasn't professional.
Well, hell, all I need him to do is be professional. Just study, help the man watch film, work extra with him, keep developing, name him the starter, let him go out there and play. All right, that's all I need from you. I don't need you to do nothing. If that's tolerating him, then all I need you to do is tolerating him. Because
Because to
tolerating
me,
him has him starting for the rest of the season, and it looks like based on the first day that he started coming in the Ravens game to now against Tennessee, it looks like Shador is getting progressively better. He's getting progressively better. So if that's the head coach tolerating him, then keep tolerating him because
I
he's
don't
getting
like I
better
said,
by
I
you
don't think
tolerating him.
that was even his decision. Like after that first
Okay,
game,
see, that
he was
ain't his
like,
decision.
after that first game, if you remember the press conference, if you're going back to the press conference, what he said out of his own mouth, he was saying, I'm going back to DG as long as he clears concussion protocol. He
Right,
said that he made that known right after that game. And
right,
then later on, it was like Shador starting. So
right.
that's
He
why I
earned it.
say, based on how he responded, the way he said he was adamant that this is what I'm going back to. And then a
He
few hours
earned it
later,
though.
it was like, no, Shador's gonna start. That's why I
He
said I
earned
don't
the
think it was
start.
his decision.
He beat the Raiders. He got a win. He earned another start.
But that wasn't what the coach said out of his own mouth at first. So that's what
At
I'm going
first,
by.
yeah, coaches change up all the time. It ain't the
I don't
first
think it
time a
was his
coach has
choice,
said,
but I know that I
yeah,
know
but
how
I mean, we just
you
got to
drink
go
that
off what's reported.
you drink that his that's
I mean, yeah,
Stefanski Kool-Aid.
I don't like to speculate. I like to go off
I'm not
facts because
speculating. I'm going by what he
right,
said out of his own mouth,
yeah,
not what I heard he
but you don't
said.
go, yeah, but then he changed his mind. Coaches do that, so we got to condemn every coach who's ever coached in any sport.
It's okay if the call came from above. It is what it
Right. I
is.
mean, it's okay. I mean, I just need to
Like
report it and say I need to see the report say this was a Andrew Berry decision or this was a Jimmy Haslam. Because we have no problem when Jerry Jones makes a decision that's out of the general manager hand. They come and they say Jerry Jones made this decision. Then you say, okay,
well,
that's
Jerry
Jerry
Jones
Jones'
want to be
decision.
out there in the media
If
with every
if
single thing. Every owner's not like that.
when Tom Brady got let go, that wasn't a Bob Kraft decision. That was a Bill Belichick decision. Okay, when Belichick got let go, they let you know that was a Bob Kraft, that was a Robert Kraft decision. So I don't like to speculate. I understand that sports is about telling stories, so you try to kind of stick to the storyline, but you can only go off what's reported. If you can't go off what's reported, then you know nothing. Everything is just
I don't know about the
made
storyline
up.
here. I'm going by what he said out of his own mouth.
Right. And then
So yeah,
he then the man played well and he did the right thing. I don't know. Like, did you want him to go back to Dylan Gabriel after Shador played
that was
well?
after he played well.
I'm
He said
saying,
what he
what
said
if he
about
would have
Dylan
went
Gabriel.
back to Dylan Gabriel after Shador played well? That would have made no sense. That would have been like, no, you gotta stick with Shador after he played against the Raiders. Even though he just played okay, he won the football game. I need to see what he can do the next week against the 49ers. I need to see. And then after that, I need to see what he's gonna. Tennessee is a good game, easy game. I got Cam versus Shador. We know what that story is. The NFL need that story. Okay, let's see that. Okay, after he played well against the Titans, even though they lost, he played really well.
He did.
I got no choice. I know what I said a few weeks ago, but things change from week to week in the NFL. That's just how I go. They said
You
last
like
week.
defending Kevin
They
Stefanski.
said
I remember
last
a
week
few
that
weeks ago you kept saying Kevin Stefanski, he don't have as no, he don't have a lot of say and so on and so on. I was like, I think he had more than you think he do. And you were
okay.
like,
So now
oh
you
well,
saying he
this,
don't have no
that.
say.
No,
I'm just saying be
I think
consistent.
he has more than you think.
Okay,
I've
so
always
he
told you
named
that.
Shador the
So
starter.
when he comes out of his mouth and he says something, I listen to it.
Okay,
Now
so
I'm not gonna hear what that man says out of his own mouth to reporters and then say,
okay,
oh, well,
so
the
he
reports that I
then when
read say
okay,
something different because that
so
to me is
then when
illogical. I'm gonna go with what you said out of your own mouth as opposed to
right.
what a reporter wrote about what you did.
So did he
If you
say out of
said
his
this, I'm
I'm
going with what you
saying
said.
so did he say out of his own mouth that I'm starting Shador next week? And then the next week he said I'm starting Shador next week. And then today he said I'm starting Shador for the rest of
I'm
the
talking about
season.
in the
So now we're saying that's
beginning.
not his
In the
decision.
beginning.
He
In
said it
the
out of his own
beginning.
mouth.
At the beginning, which is what I'm talking about. You're
So he
skipping.
can't change his mind.
I'm not changing anything. You're skipping to fit
I'm
your
saying he can't
narrative.
change his
I'm
mind.
sticking to the beginning. And I
Yeah.
don't think that decision came from him based on what he said out of his mouth. Now,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not in
coaches
Kevin
say stuff all
Stefanski's
the
head.
time.
I'm not in his house or in his room. I don't have a direct line to him. And last time I checked, I don't think you
Right.
do either. So what
Right.
I'm
I
going
just
to
go
do
off the
is go by
report
what he said,
because they got a
and you're going to
direct
go by the
line.
reports that you read.
They
And
got a
that's okay
direct
that we feel
line to the
differently
team.
about it.
Right. Or else we don't know what we're talking about. We just up here speculating about everything. We don't go by the reports. We making
Well, I
stuff
mean, but
up.
it's
I don't like to
speculation
make stuff
regardless
up.
because we're not there within the organization.
Yeah, I don't like to make stuff up. That's why you listen to the people that are there. It's no
It's not.
different.
It's
Like
not
you,
making up.
like
You're going
okay,
by what you. You're going
like
by
I
what
know
you
you right.
read and what
I
you
know you right.
believe.
This is what I'm saying. I know you right. And let's say you got the gig with the New York Knicks, and you were inside the New York Knicks locker room, and I know Kaji has integrity. She ain't just gonna lie. And I call you and I say, what's the word in the locker room? How's this such and such going? And you tell me what's going on. I'm gonna take your word for it because I
But
believe
you
you
know
have
me
integrity.
directly. Do you know Mary directly? I'm just using her as an example.
I don't know her directly, but like I said,
And
I've
that's
been
what I'm
following this
saying.
lady for 20
If you
years.
know someone directly and you have able to call that person, then I can't tell you what you heard from Mary directly was wrong. I can't say what you heard from Jason was wrong because you know Jason personally. You know who he
Yeah,
is, and you talk to him. You have a
but
friendship with him. Y'all went to college together,
no,
whatever it is. So that's
but
something different.
when
But
I
in
work
terms
in
of
radio,
reading a report from
yeah,
someone that I don't know
yeah,
personally, I
like
don't
I'm
put nothing
saying,
past anybody. That's just me,
like
though.
I'm telling you, when I worked in radio as a producer for a lot of these shows, my
Mm-hmm.
job, one of my jobs was to get guests on. So in the
Mm-hmm.
radio business, they got what you call a blue book and they got a black book.
Mm-hmm.
And the blue book and the black book got the names and numbers of the general managers of the organizations. You got the
Mm-hmm.
PR people to the players. You got the beat writers to all the team. If you want to guest on the show, if you can't get the athlete, but you still want to guest, you want to know about what's
Mm-hmm.
going on inside the locker room, you got to call these folks and ask them, can I get 10 minutes of your time? Can I get 15 minutes of
Mm-hmm.
your time? We want to talk about X, Y, and Z. We playing the Falcons playing the Patriots this week. We want to know what's going on with the Patriots. Can we get you on the show? And you
Mm-hmm.
call these folks, you get them on your show. You don't call these folks. These folks are not in that book if they don't have integrity. If they gonna flam you, and then
You
once you
said you
call
said you
these,
called the GM. Who did you call?
I mean, I have called different GMs for different sports, but I'm just saying once you call
So
these people,
so
like
you
you
called the
build a
GM.
relationship, huh?
So you call the GM for the interview.
Sometimes it depends. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
in the black book. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on who you try to get a
Mm-hmm.
player if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can't get the player. If you can
Mm-hmm.
get the general manager, that's even better. Sometimes you can't get the general manager. Sometimes you can just get the beat writer. But
But
my
once
whole
again, it
point
goes back
is
to you saying you're talking to these people, not you're
right.
just reading something from them online. That's two
No,
different things.
but you talk to these people. These people, when you realize it, when you calling these people and you asking them to come on, sometimes they're really good on the show. You like, damn, he was really
Mm-hmm.
good. Can we call you again? You call them
Mm-hmm.
again down the road if you want to get a get interview. But you realize, damn, he's a writer, and you start reading his stuff because you want to be able to say when you call him, I read your article. You got to kind of smooth these people to get them on. I read your article. You talked about X, Y, and Z. We want to have you come on the show so we can talk about the same thing that you put in your article. Like you don't call these people and they're not credible sources. You don't waste that kind of time. You that's put on bad programming. It's just not good. It's just not professional. So I understand where you're coming from, but as a professional, like there's certain people who in this business that after you done dealt with them for a long time, you respect them and you know what they're all about. And this is how anybody, even the sports media, this is how anybody gets any information. If you're not getting it from a beat writer, or these people that are inside the locker room, then we have nothing out here. Nobody knows anything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You get no information. So that's all we got to go off of. We're not going off what the writers got, especially those who've been around 20, 30 years.
I do, with
Then we
respect to
just
that, I
we gotta
also
talk about anything.
understand that people put their own
Yeah,
twist
I
on things
understand. I
because
understand.
they're trying to get the
But
likes and the clicks on
but
their
let me just
article
say
or
this. Let me
whatever.
just
So
say
it doesn't.
this.
And I don't. Everyone does not have
You're right.
journalistic integrity.
And I know
Now
where you're
there are
coming
some who
from.
do. I'm not saying nobody who's a journalist that
Right.
no is everybody who's is dishonest and
Right.
untrustworthy. I'm not saying that, but I'm not
Right.
going to be in the umbrella either of thinking that everyone who's a journalist
I
is
understand
integral
you.
and honest. I don't believe
But this
that.
is what I'm saying. And I feel what you because honestly, they just like you kind of young in this thing, right? So you don't really like I've been around for so long. I've built up my like list of reporters from every team. I know I got at least one reporter from every team, but some teams I got 3 reporters who over the years I know they're credible. Like I wouldn't even be on this show giving you name dropping certain reporters if I thought they were flim flam from my experience of 20, 30 years. Like,
Your
I'm
experience
not
with them,
naming,
your experience reading the articles.
in some cases, both. In some cases, I've had these people
Okay.
on my shows
Okay,
while
so
I
that's
was
something
doing
different.
radio.
Okay. Okay,
Right.
cool.
But you kind of get to know, like, you've been doing it for a while. You know what sources are credible and what sources are not. I like some people write stuff on X or IG, and I'm like, I don't know them. I can't go off that. I'll read the story and then I'll go to my people who I know their sources and I'll see if it lines up. If it lines up, great. You
Mhm.
got some true. If it don't line up, then I know
Mhm.
you with that flim flam. And
Mhm.
I stay away from the flim flam much as possible because I don't like coming on. I don't want to disrespect your platform
Mhm.
by coming up on here making up stuff to try to win a argument. I don't care about that. Like, as
Mhm.
much as I like players, I support players. I'm not a fan of anybody. When Michael
Mhm.
Jackson died, that was the last person ever I was a fan of.
Oh my.
I support you, but you could be my favorite player. Lamar Jackson is my
Mhm.
favorite quarterback. Jalen Hurts
Mhm.
is my second favorite quarterback. Mike Vick was my guy. But
Mhm.
if you wrong or you not playing well, I'm gonna
Mhm.
say you wrong and you not playing well.
I
If
feel you.
if the reports come out and say this what was going on, this what was going on, and it points
Mhm.
in the negative, if we talking about it, I gotta give you the truth. I can't
Mhm.
sit here and just make up stuff because that drives down the value of your platform, and I wouldn't even want to do that. Like that's just not it's just not cool to do it. So
Again, because you're
I'm not
somebody
gonna
who
come on here
because
and
you're some
just
because you're somebody who has integrity. And
right,
that's who you
exactly.
are.
So I
And that's
only
who I
read
am.
reports
What I'm saying is
people that have
everybody who has a
integrity.
platform is not the same. And
You're
that's my point.
correct.
There's a lot of
Any
people who have
platform that I'm
podcasts.
on is gonna have a factual. That's what I'm known for. I'm known for telling the truth and speaking facts. If I can't give you that, I'm not finna. I don't like speculating. I don't like making up stuff. Now you tell me what I think was my opinion. I'll give it to you. But even
Yeah.
then, my opinions are based on the facts. And if I don't know, I'll just tell you I don't know. Maybe this, maybe that. That means if I say maybe this, maybe that, that means I have no solid ground to stand on. I don't
I
no
think
reporters that I read or
I
anything
think
has
we
said
all
anything.
we all draw conclusions based on what we believe to be facts. Whether
I don't
it's
do that.
whether you are to a certain extent because you believe in such and such, and you don't necessarily know her personally, but you
Yeah, but
believe over the course of years from reading her articles or seeing her
right.
interviews that she's a credible source. But you don't
And one
necessarily
thing
know
I
her
do, I
personally. So
always cite my source. Because if I don't, then I'm liable to be making stuff up, which is
what I'm
not
saying is
cool.
what I'm saying is you can come on here and say Mary, but you don't know her personally. That's the difference for me.
Right.
Just because
I can't know everybody personally.
you know, huh?
It's impossible. I can't know everybody personally.
I'm not talking about everybody. We're talking about the
Right.
one person you name as far as Cleveland is concerned. I'm not
Oh
talking
yeah,
about the
Mary
entire
Clinton
world
basketball
of
queen.
sports
Everybody
media,
knows that though.
the entire world of journalists. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
not
but I'm
talking
saying
about everybody who
everybody
writes.
knows that though. I mean, I say Mary because she's one of the most prominent beat writers in all
And
of
I've heard of
not
her
just
name several times
football,
over. They
all the
mention her on
sports.
Nightcap.
Yeah,
But
everybody
but
lives. She's the
aside
gospel.
from her, I'm saying generally speaking,
Right.
I don't operate in this bubble where just because somebody is popular, they're prominent, doesn't mean that that's who they are. People sometimes can fool you. Somebody can live, you can think see somebody on television, you can think, wow, this person's amazing. He or she is this and that. You meet them face to face, you're like, wow,
Well,
this person's a
well,
real
I don't know.
asshole.
Like
This
she might be an
they're
asshole. I
not
don't
who
care.
they're not who they perceive themselves to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. I mean, a lot of them are assholes.
And
They're
that's my
regular
point.
people. I don't care if
Some
they're assholes.
people
I care
have
about are you
journalistic
reporting facts or
integrity.
not.
What happened?
I don't care if you're an asshole or what you do. I only care, do you have journalism integrity? That's it. I mean,
And
you can be an
that's
asshole,
what I'm
you can be
saying.
nasty.
And I'm saying you believe who you choose to believe, and that's for all of us. Now you
Yeah,
choose to believe the
but
people
this
that
is
you
after
follow
years
and
of
who you've read. And
right. This is
somebody
after
else that I
years and
might bring on
years
this
of
podcast, they may say, I watch or I go by this source, and I believe this source to be true based on this, that, and the third. And you may
right,
say, "Oh, I don't like that guy. You know,
right,
I
right.
think he's this or that." They may say, "Well, no, no, no. This person is this, that, and the third, and he's been writing for I don't know how many years, so on and so forth." My point is that everybody believes what they believe based on who they choose to believe, who they choose to follow. That's just the way the world works.
Right.
And we can agree, disagree on it. You know, I follow who I follow. You follow who you follow. Brother D believes who he believes. Shannon Sharp believes who he believes and who he knows. That's just the way the world works. And you hope that who you're following, who you believe in, are who you think they are. But sometimes they're not.
Yeah, if you
But
follow somebody who doesn't have integrity, you have a chance to run your whole platform. And people who have real platforms that they want people to keep
mhm.
following, they pick and choose who they who they give credibility to very closely,
And yeah, I
because
mean those people who have
it can
huge
ruin you.
platforms, I guarantee
Right.
you,
It
like
can ruin you.
they know, they probably know somebody personally. They're not
Yeah,
just
but
talking about what
they
they
can't know them
saw
all
on a
personally.
blog site, so to speak.
No, we don't do blog people. We don't do professionals.
No. I said you don't. There are
No.
journalists who do blog.
Yeah,
like
yeah. But
like
if they're
that's a
not
real
with no
thing.
reputable, if they're not with no reputable company, then it's just hard to believe in them. It's hard to, unless they've been around 30 years and decide to do their own
Hmm.
thing, and you just. But everybody in the industry pretty much knows who's credible and who's not. I'll just put it like that. So I try to do that. I try to bring that to your show. I try to bring facts based on me understanding and me being around for a while to know what's a credible source and what's not, and
Hmm.
bring that to bring value to your platform. Because if I'm just gonna be making stuff up, then you can have any Joe Blow on here.
Pretty much.
Right.
But like I said, we could always agree, disagree. That's what makes the world go around. We don't
Right.
have to have the same opinions about everything. I think it makes for more compelling conversation if we don't see eye to eye on everything anyway.
Right. It's
Um,
good.
so I look forward to Shador finishing out the season. Hopefully he stays healthy. I am curious
Yeah.
though, like now that Shador's finishing out, if I'm Dylan Gabriel, I wonder what he's thinking. Like, do I have another chance? Is my chance gone? Do I get moved? Like, what happens now? I'm curious, like, now what the plan is, because everything happened the way it did, the way it was supposed to. But if Dylan Gabriel was still healthy, I don't know when they would have turned to Shador, or at what point in time. And we're never going to know that now because we can't go back in time.
Right.
But for him, he's not coming back, unless Shador gets hurt, something happens. So I'm just wondering like what the plan is now. If Shador plays
Keep
out, he
working.
plays out well. I wonder what they're going to do in the off season.
Keep working. Keep grinding. He's a good quarterback. He'll find his footing in this league eventually. I mean, you just gotta, keep working, keep
I would
grinding.
hope if
Hopefully,
they keep Shador,
hopefully he can get out
they
of.
would move him.
Hopefully he can get out of Cleveland. I would have preferred Shador got out of Cleveland, but it looked
One
like
of
if Dylan
them, one of them,
right,
because I don't think you can have no. You can
right.
have
I mean,
the two of them
I
there
want both
for
of
a
them to
whole
get
of the
out of
season.
Cleveland. I want both of them to get out of Cleveland, but it looked like Dylan Gabriel drew the lucky straw. He's gonna get out of Cleveland, so that's a positive thing for him because, like I told you weeks ago, one of these guys or both of these guys was gonna get screwed. And so now it looks like at least Dylan Gabriel is gonna get screwed, which is unfortunate for him. But the silver lining to this
It could
is
be a blessing if he goes someplace else.
right. I finna say the silver lining
Mhm.
is you get to get out of Cleveland. Shador is they're gonna probably try to re-up him. He's gonna be stuck. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. So you get to get out of Cleveland, you get to go somewhere else,
Mhm.
Arizona, maybe in Miami, somewhere else where you get to actually be developed by a real team that who everybody's seeing eye to eye, the front office and the head coach, and they're gonna actually spend the time to develop you
Mhm.
and allow you to play, and you can perform well, or you're
Well, you
gonna
said
find out that,
Kevin Stefanski
or
is
you're gonna
spending
be
time
just
with
as
him on his days
successful.
off, so Shador should be good.
You say what?
You said Kevin Stefanski's been spending time with him on his days off and whatnot, so he's
Yeah,
putting time in.
but it's Cleveland though. Cleveland just is Cleveland. I mean, sometimes it's just in the air. I mean, Deshaun Watson was a top 2 quarterback before he go to Cleveland. I mean, Baker Mayfield was there. He wasn't that good. I mean, he still ain't that good, but at least he looks better in Tampa Bay
Mhm.
than he ever did in Cleveland. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it just you go back in the history of Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns have always been the Cleveland Browns. They
Mhm.
moved the team. They went to Baltimore. They won a championship. Matter of fact, they went to Baltimore. They won 2 championships. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like Ray Lewis was in Cleveland. Then he go to Baltimore. He's all pro. He's everything. So sometimes it just, the curse of Cleveland. It's just something wrong with Cleveland. Cleveland sports, period. And so,
Well, well,
yeah,
hopefully, if
hopefully,
Shador,
hopefully it works out for both of them. Hopefully, Shador
if
plays
they,
well enough that they decide that they don't need to go in the draft and they can actually start to put pieces around Shador with those
hmm
first round picks. I'm hoping that that's how it goes,
hmm
but we'll see. We'll see if they believe that they can, you know, get a guy who they think is a top quarterback, then they might do that. But I'm hoping anyway. I can't even think for what they'll do. I'm hoping that they just decide to develop Shador, put pieces around him, and try to, you know, see if
hmm
they got some in the future going forward with Shador.
yeah.
But honestly, I hope Shador can get out of there too.
Look, I mean, like I said, I want whatever. It might sound corny, but this is how I feel, honestly speaking. And I think Shador, based on how he was raised, might feel the same way. I want whatever God wants for him. If that is
Right.
Cleveland, then it will be Cleveland, and it will work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah,
If
that'd be
that's not
great.
Cleveland, then Miami, New Orleans, Raiders, wherever God thinks is the best place for him,
Right.
he'll find his way there.
I tell you, if he can win at
Yeah.
Cleveland, that'll be legendary.
I believe that. I believe that. I believe
Right.
everything happens for a reason. And even sometimes things take a while. Sometimes it takes you a while to arrive to your destination, but you arrive when you're
Right.
supposed to. I
Right.
wholeheartedly believe that. So Shador, wasn't supposed to play, supposedly not, supposedly whatever have you. Dylan gets
Yeah, it's
hurt.
gonna be a red shirt season,
Opportunity,
according to the reports, but we don't know because we don't want to.
opportunity.
Right.
Dylan Gabriel got hurt. Flacco was gone. Kenny Pickett's gone. Bailey Zapp just came in, so Shador got his chance, and he's still getting his chance. It's still extended, so we shall see
Right.
what happens. I look forward to seeing him play the rest of the season. I'll be tuned in, y'all, live each time Shador plays. Oh, you guys! Now, when he plays the Bills, I'm telling y'all that right now, okay? Because I love Josh Allen, Joshua Tyrell Allen. Okay, y'all know how I feel about him. It's gonna be a tough matchup. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
don't be
probably
bad
gonna be
at.
cold. It's probably gonna be cold outside. It's gonna
It's
be in
cold in
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
but
It's cold in Buffalo. It's
yeah,
just cold no matter
all his
where.
games he got to play in Chicago. We got 2 in Cleveland, and you got 1 in Cincinnati. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be snowing.
I mean,
So
Colorado was cold, was it not at times?
not this cold. This is a different type of cold.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
I remember the one time I went up to Michigan. I don't never want to go back.
Yeah, I went
I
to
ain't never
Detroit
felt that kind of.
twice.
I ain't never felt that kind of cold before. That cold with him in my bones. I was like, I don't never want to come up here ever again.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
haven't
one for
been
the
back
cold
since.
either. But no, put your extra padding on, Shador. Do what you got to do. Put your
Yeah,
layers
yeah, yeah.
on. Put your hoodie underneath the other hoodie. Put your thermals on.
Oh yeah,
Your
you're a
body
professional.
warmers. It's like
Yeah, you're a
and be
professional.
ready.
See, teams
Um.
like that, they have to be good at running the football. They don't really normally have quarterbacks who are proficient passers like that
Mhm,
because it's too cold and it's too windy when it comes
mhm,
time to play real football games. So they really like to lean on defenses and leaning on running the football. But we'll see. I wish him the best.
mhm,
Because I really wish he was in a warm weather type situation or a dome type situation, so we can
mhm.
really see him flourish. But hey, maybe you can flourish in that cold and be
I'm
great.
glad
I
that
mean,
he's
Brett
not.
Favre did it, Aaron Rodgers did it.
I'm glad that he's not, because even if he was in the dome, like his home team, when you see the teams that have to go outside the dome, they usually struggle. So I'm glad that he doesn't have like the perfect conditions. That way, no matter that way he'll be able to play in no matter what, cold weather,
Yeah,
snowy
yeah,
weather, warm weather. Like he'll be
right,
able to adjust. I think
yeah,
that's the upside of that. Even though it's cold as hell.
right, right.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get up out of here. Thank you for tuning in, all of you guys. Any last words before we hop out of here? I'm gonna share the last word.
Oh man, I just appreciate it and make sure you follow me on the platform One Man Cave. That's on IG, that's on YouTube, that's on TikTok. One Man Cave, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on both channels on Just Simply Sports. Make sure you do that, and make sure you share with one person. Just share with one person this week, and then we're gonna do the same thing next week. And I appreciate you having me on, and you know, uh, hopefully I can bring some value to the show. And somehow I don't like to be just another random person.
Oh, you're not random at all, Nadia. I appreciate you. I wouldn't do it with you if I thought you were just a random person. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll just go at it alone. I'll tell you that much, very much so. I don't mind being on here alone, so it's all good. I appreciate you always, even if we disagree. It's all
I was
good.
looking for Brother D
I didn't
today.
see Miss I didn't see
I
Miss
was-
Stacy in here. Tell her I said, hey, hi.
yeah, her birthday was just yesterday, might have Saturday. So
Oh, happy
yeah.
belated birthday.
Yeah, so she had a whole weekend. She went to the Hawks game on
She's a Sag.
Friday. Was that? Yeah,
She's a Sagittarius. Oh,
Right. Right. Something wrong with
awesome
her.
sign.
I guess something wrong with them people. But yeah, she
Leos
went
and
to the Hawks.
Sag are like this. We get along.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's why y'all both be telling me the same things about
And
certain
Russ
people.
we trust.
Yeah, right. But yeah, she went to the Hawks game Friday and she went to the Falcons game yesterday. And
Oh, she living her best life.
Right. And then we watched wrestling and all that. So yeah, she been into, getting her sports thing. All the ATL teams lost on her watch. So
Oh man.
maybe she need to not go to the game so much. But
Oh
it is
man.
what it is.
That's a bummer. But I'm glad she had a wonderful birthday weekend though. God bless with many more.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I gotta get back on my nurse duty, y'all. My son is injured, so I have to get back on nurse duty.
You got your scrubs.
I'm gonna go change right now. I took them
Okay.
off to come on here. I'm gonna go back put them on
Okay.
right now when I hop off of here.
All right.
Good night, y'all. See y'all next week. Same time. Hopefully, better game, better outcome. All right.
Yeah.
Peace out, y'all.